Huh?
Look at this guy's fucking hair. It's a Lego piece.
Impeccable. Impeccable.
It's literally
It's Johnny Bravo.
It just like stuck. It's like
No, come on. Look at that.
that's the best fucking hair ever, man. Holy
It's
shit.
weird. My camera's like over here now, so this is like freaking me out.
Where are you now? Why are you keep changing locations every day?
Well, I didn't change locations. I'm using Melissa's iPad, so it's on different. It's the camera's like on the side. Does this fuck it up? Oh, that fucks it up, right?
Yep.
I like this view better. See, this feels more like the original Ian. I like this better. Yeah.
Well, I'm back in my kitchen.
I don't like professional Ian with the mic.
Why
and
do you
the
have
headphones.
the blurred out background like that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just how her thing is set. Should I change that? Is that weird?
No, leave it. It makes your hair look better.
Thank you. Okay. It really narrows the focus down onto my hairpiece.
Fuck, I missed you guys.
The hair is phenomenal.
Paul's on too?
We took a week off and I fucking missed you guys.
Fucking Paul's here. I'm leaving.
Hi, Michael.
Paul, look how good Ian's hair looks.
Wow. Hey.
It's like thick as
Look at you.
fuck.
Yeah.
Thick.
Hell yeah. Oh, it's
Look at
really
this.
good, Ian.
Look at this. I still haven't cut it. I told you I would grow it for the year. Look at this.
Is it red now?
No, it's just the lighting.
It's the color of his pubes.
I gotta say,
Is this a
that
good look?
you
like
had
it,
it before you put it all
It's
down.
not
it was
bad.
good. You had
Keep
like
it
one.
to the side of it. To
Yeah.
the side of it.
Or how about a nice feathered look? How about a nice feathered look, Ian? Down the middle.
Emo Ian.
I like that. No, leave it. Leave
So I
it.
can't tell which way it's going.
No, leave it. It was good. What the fuck, man? I got to tell you guys though, I'm most jealous of Seth's hair. It
Why
looks
is that?
because it.
Well, because his is real.
Yeah.
Well, it's got that.
It's wild.
It's got that Kevin Costner look to it. It's like
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Hey.
Man, what are you buttering me up for? What are you trying to grab? What are you trying to take from me?
that's what it reminds me of. It's got a Kevin Costner look to it. Just
Listen,
anyway.
that was I'm good. I can die now. I'm fine.
Okay, Seth, best Kevin Costner ever.
Oh man,
I know you're gonna say the one I'm thinking. I'm pretty sure.
Waterworld.
That was like his worst movie, wasn't it?
I like Waterworld.
It's underrated. It's underrated.
I never saw it. I just heard it was horrible. I never saw it.
Good.
Yeah. So I really like Dances with Wolves.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I knew he was going to say that.
initial,
You
but then, dude, I watched maybe a few months ago now, The Guardian with Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, that's really good. Is it,
That one.
that's the Coast Guard movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
My favorite's Bodyguard.
That's
Whitney Houston. Whitney
Of course
Houston.
it is, Paul.
that totally makes sense.
Yeah, hey, I saw myself in that role when I was a child.
Black woman, white guy, you're in.
You saw
Saving
yourself
the day.
protecting a black woman?
Whenever I think of that, like as a kid, like it was so seductive, like because I was a kid and I was like, I was a little, like, man, what's going on here? And then like the whole thing on the sword, like that's what sold me. I was like, man, that's super cool. I don't know what's going on, but it's neat.
I think mine's Dances with Wolves. It's the best Kevin Costner, for sure.
I do like a what's the fucking show, the big show?
Yellowstone.
I do like a good Yellowstone
I
Kevin
forgot
Costner,
about
you know?
that.
Yeah. Like a little older, a little tougher. Like I like that Kevin Costner, you know?
That's a tough one for me because I've watched Dances with Wolves over like probably 5 fucking times because I like it so much.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
But you never seen it? It's slow, but I shouldn't say it's slow. It's long, but it's good.
Yeah. The other one I like with him is Tin Cup.
Never seen that.
The golf one?
That's the golf one?
Yeah.
He's good on draft day too.
Complete the
Draft
Day
Day
is
was good.
Oh, Draft Day was good.
Yeah.
He's got some good movies.
Yeah. I'm torn now, but the Yellowstone or Dances with Wolves. Seth, you got to be a big Yellowstone fan, no?
I mean, I didn't watch all the seasons. I just didn't. I got into it in the beginning, and then like I was saying, like whenever I told you about that show I started watching.
Which one was that?
Dude, Dark Matter.
Dark Matter, yeah.
Oh, you guys are all watching that, eh?
Yeah.
I don't get into many shows, and that one sucked me in because when we were traveling, I watched it while we were traveling. I'm like kind of into it.
Yeah.
And I got really into it, but very rarely do I get sucked into a show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dark
yeah.
Matter.
Me too.
Yellowstone had me fucking every week just waiting.
I like
Oh, yeah.
1883 and 1923 better.
My wife told me I'm the whitest brown guy she's ever met in her life.
Gonna be a rancher, eh, Fouad?
I'm wearing flannels and riding a Harley. She's like, I tried not to marry my dad, and I didn't marry my dad. That's like, what was I gonna say? House of Dragons last night.
Yeah.
Oh, did you watch it?
House of the Dragon. I don't know. I watched it. I wasn't
Don't tell me. I haven't watched it yet. I don't want to hear.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you anything. I just wasn't like sucked in the way I was like before.
I don't know what I did, but I started the episode, and when I was watching the previously on, like from the last season recap, I'm like, I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, I was lost too. Yeah,
I literally didn't remember any of them. I'm like, did I even watch this season? So I'm like, I went back and watching episode fucking 1 of the last season right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's been what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah. You know what, man?
2 years. Yeah.
You know a good show that is back. Not to make this whole episode about TV, but a good show that is back on now is Mayor of Kingstown.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
Mayor of Kingstown is it's about like the gang correction facility, like the intermingling of it all.
Isn't it about Kingston, Ontario?
No, not Kingston. Kingstown.
I thought it was based. I thought it was based on that.
Kingstown, not Kingston.
He takes it so literally.
Based on it loosely.
It's about Windsor.
Yeah,
It's about Windsor, Ontario. It's about Windsor, Ontario.
Well, a prison town. A prison town, nonetheless.
Anyway, they had a couple big shows go by that we haven't talked about on the show. So we should get into some bodybuilding before we get into the other shit. Actually, one more thing before we get into bodybuilding shit. You guys ever talk to your wife about something that you know about or you think you know about, and you kind of like over, like you keep talking about it like over and over in different
like
ways.
more about it, you do?
Like you've just like you know about it, but you beat the point to death because you know about it, and she does or she does, but like you're trying to drive a point home, but you've beat it to death because you talk about it in so many different ways. Have you ever done that?
I probably do that.
I have it done to me all the time. Happened just yesterday, actually.
What was it about, Mike? Come on, tell us.
No, it's just like I can't because I can. Just like someone was explaining something to me that I had already explained to them and was repeating what I told them in detail, what I already knew, and I was like, "What am I doing here?"
Were they repeating it over and over again in like different ways? Yeah.
I'm like, I just said that.
Yeah.
No.
I do that quite often where I just like explain it one way and then I literally find myself a minute later saying the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
I thought I was explaining it in a different manner and I was not. It's the same thing I'm saying.
I just did that to my wife for the last half an hour. And now that I've walked away, I'm like, she probably was so irritated by that whole conversation. I feel like I have to get off the podcast and go and apologize to her.
She didn't say nothing.
I could see her like rolling her eyes and being like, "Can you shut the fuck up? Like you've already made your point."
What are you talking about?
I think I do this to Melissa on like an almost daily basis, to be honest. That shouldn't come off as a surprise.
It's not a surprise, actually. What's going on, guys? I want to pause the podcast for a minute. Sometimes it gets lost in the podcast. We joke around a lot about health and drugs and all these different things, but I need to stress to you how important it is to actually see the people at Merrick Health to get your blood work, but not only to get your blood work, but also to optimize your hormones. So look, I'm not going to take a long time. We'll get back to the podcast, but trust me, get to merrickhealth.com/RBP. Don't worry about using my code if you don't want to. It doesn't matter. Just get to Merrick Health, get somebody to look at your blood work, get somebody to look at the drugs you're using and your hormones and make sure that you're doing things properly, because these things can lead to symptoms and issues down the road. Things that I didn't know about, things that doctors never told me about, and things that I'm dealing with now that I didn't have to deal with had I had the information. So please get to merrickhealth.com. A lot of the jokes are all fun and games, but you do have to take these things seriously because bodybuilding is a risky world and it's important for you guys to make sure you're getting checked. merrickhealth.com is the people to go. Okay, so we went to Toronto and let's cover the Empro Classic first because it's the most recent one. Ian, first of all, you judged the show this weekend. What did you judge?
Judged the Ottawa Naturals.
Ah, okay. How was that?
It was actually really good. It was a really fun show to judge. Yeah.
How the
Yeah.
crossovers go.
Bro, fuck that shit. That's hard. That's
Wait a
hard
minute.
as fuck.
Explain the crossovers. What do you mean? Oh, you mean because you judge one guy in one class and you have to judge him in another?
We had a bikini class with like 19 girls. All 19 of them were crossovers.
Yeah.
To what? To what class are they
Paul
crossovers?
understands the fucking
Yeah.
aids of that. That is
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
ultimate aids. You
No,
know?
no,
Yeah.
no. I'm trying to explain to the audience. So when you have a 19 in a bikini, they're crossing over to what? Figure, wellness, other things?
No.
No, other bikini classes.
Right.
What do you mean?
What?
Like,
So
like
like they would be in like masters 35, masters 45,
Oh.
novice, true novice, and an open class.
And you got to be
So-
consistent, right? Because
So
like
it's
how
you
who
would
gotta
you
be
cares, who
explain?
cares, and who cares?
But you got to
So-
be consistent.
No.
So
let me ask you something.
It's
So
hard. It's very hard.
when you guys are talking about how hard it is, just so people understand, a girl does the over 35. Then her and another girl both do over 45. You got to remember where you place them, or because if you place them in the wrong place, then you're inconsistent.
Right.
That's what you're talking about.
You just
Right.
look a little silly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
yeah,
that's what I was saying. In bikini open C, every single girl in the class of 19 or 18, every single one of them was a crossover. So they'd all competed in another bikini class prior. So then you have to be looking back at every single bikini class, seeing where they place in that class, writing it down, and then making sure that they stay in the same order, but then also judging them in that class.
Right.
and natural shows, you get more of that.
So I got a
Yeah,
quick
natural
question
shows.
then.
Go
With
ahead,
that
sir.
being said, we all like to think that we're like super objective. Do you find yourself looking at them in these different classes next to different girls? They look different than they did 30 minutes, 20 minutes ago?
100%. The
Yep.
lineup changes everything. They could be like in a class with, say in the master's class, there's like 2 good girls in the class versus in the open class, there's 16 good girls in the class. It
Yeah.
changes how people look so much, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
So
And then you get people who this is less impactful. Like let's say bodybuilding, for instance. You got a guy doing bodybuilding and a guy doing classic. Well, that's different. You don't have to worry about that because
No.
it's like 2 different criteria.
Yeah,
you can
But
judge
when
them
they're-
completely differently. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But when they're doing multiple classes within that category, it's especially with a big class when you get 20
Can I-
people.
Can I ask-
Especially, I honestly, I didn't find crossovers in men's classes, like bodybuilding and classic, as hard. But when you're doing
Mhm.
men's physique or bikini, where the variances are a lot smaller
Yep.
and the group's a
Yeah.
lot tighter,
Yeah.
you have 20 of them that are all crossovers. It became very, very complicated. Yeah,
And you tend to get bigger classes in those ones too.
exactly. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a couple of questions. So one is a question, one's a statement. First question is, do you guys ever feel like you wish you could just judge the stuff that you're most proficient at, like bodybuilding, classic, whatever, or like maybe the men's categories? Like, are you like, when you have to judge bikini, do you feel out of sorts, or do you feel like uncomfortable, or you like wish you didn't have to do it? Like, or is it like, you know what, you just like sitting down for the whole thing?
Well, myself,
Yeah.
the bigger shows, I like the Toronto Pro last weekend, where you're judging amateurs and pros on 2 different days, and that pro show had masters categories with every single class too. So it was a very long show to judge.
So,
So
you're
that-
saying, but you're saying just because of the length of the show, so you don't get tired, you rather
Well, yeah,
condense
because
it.
because we were literally at it for 12 to 14 hours both days straight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're exhausted, and so
Your
it'd have been
eye-
nice.
Your eye can't be the same at hour 12 as it is at hour 2.
Yeah, like you're doing your best for sure, and
Yeah.
you've had about 3,000 milligrams of caffeine by that point of the day,
Yeah.
and 7
12
or 8
energy
protein
drinks
bars. Yeah, but at least I have.
Yeah.
But
Me too.
but yeah, I mean, you're definitely not as fresh as you were, earlier.
Yeah. So the statement I was going to make is, I think I've never been one to complain about bodybuilding judging, but if let's say I took over the IFBB tomorrow, the one change I would make is I feel like the people most proficient in the category should be the judge for that category.
Well, and they do that at the Olympia, right? Like Sandy
Yeah,
head judges
yeah,
the
the Olympia. The only
you know,
problem is that at a regional show, then you need to bring in more judges, which costs you more money.
Well, I
So,
don't know
like,
if
say,
but I don't.
say you're bringing in just bodybuilding judges, then figure judges, and now instead of bringing 5 judges, you're bringing what? 10,
Okay, but
15?
hold
Right.
But a couple things with that, Ian. I don't necessarily mean it at like regional amateur shows, but I even mean like Paul said, like the Toronto Pro, like that's a massive pro show. Like, and I don't think they necessarily need a each category, but they probably should have women's judges and men's judges.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, let me say though, like in years past, the Toronto Pro used to have a separate head judge for the pro show, and a lot of times a separate head judge for the amateur show. But that was
Yeah.
pre-COVID when the numbers were really high. But
Yeah.
the numbers are getting up there again, so maybe we'll see that again in the future. But North Americans, for example, Gary Udit show, that's one of the biggest amateur shows in the world. Like I only judge men's. I judge for the
Yeah.
first 2 days, and then I'm done.
But
And
I think
then,
that's right. I think that's the way it should be.
I agree.
Because it's also a matter of like, I also, and I don't know, this could be my own thought on it, but like, I also feel like how fresh can a judge be if he's judged for 5 days straight with 12 hours a day? Like the North Americans, like you start judging on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Doesn't the show go from like Wednesday to Saturday?
It does. It's 4
Yeah,
days.
imagine you had to do Wednesday through Saturday.
Yeah,
like-
but North Americans isn't quite as long a day as a Toronto was.
But there also is,
but they're still, yeah, you're still
But
at it
still,
4 days
imagine you
straight.
had to
also a
sit there for 4
caveat to that,
days.
Paul, which
Yeah.
I maybe you agree. Really, the only part, like at finals, it's obviously different than judging it pre-judging. Like you're just judging the overalls, then really at finals, where the morning is where you're actually like really
Yeah.
judging all the categories. So
Except
in a day
for
like,
pros.
yeah, I had a in pros, yeah. But like for this show, it was a 13-hour day or 14-hour day. I was going from 8:30 in the morning till 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
But like I was only actually judging other than the overalls until like 5 p.m.
Right.
Right.
You know,
And
and
usually
then
the
after
overalls.
that, you basically watch all the classes. They come through. You get a scorecard with the winners with the overall. You
Yeah.
judge them in the overall, and then it's just on. So you're only judging every like 10 minutes. Then,
Yeah, and overalls at regionals, they're usually, pretty clear cut, but
Yeah.
so you're not like having,
So the Empro Classic or Empro Pro, I don't know if it goes by Pro or Classic, but regardless, was this weekend, and we kind of made some picks offline. Seth, I don't know if you made any picks offline. Do you want to tell us if you had any picks?
I thought Crizzo was going to be a lot better.
So did I. I remember
Yeah.
I was thinking of Crizzo from last year.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I had Bonac as number 2. I had Crizzo at number 1, Bonac at number 2.
That's what I had.
And then he just surprised me.
I don't think Bonac surprised me. I just think Crizzo
I
surprised
mean-
me. Yeah.
Crizzo in the opposite
Yeah.
direction surprised
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
What a hell of a show. The lineup was incredible.
You know
Yeah.
what the thing was about Crizzo is when he came out as a pro, he wasn't nailing it. And then last year he nailed it. And I thought, okay, this guy's figured out his formula.
Yeah.
So I expected him to come back this weekend the same as last year. And I think he was a little off. And I think
The only thing is, though, even if he's in condition, I think once you get against guys to a certain level, there's such an unbalance in his physique from front to back.
Ian, you're
like-
very biased against his physique. Like you really don't like his physique.
I'm not.
I'm not calling you a
look, I'm
hater.
not.
I just like you've always been very critical.
You said he had a long neck.
Everyone can see that the variance from his front to back. Paul, back me up here. From front to back,
Oh, yeah,
there's a
no, I agree.
massive imbalance.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying there isn't. All I'm saying is
He's got huge quads, massive arms and delts. His back and his glutes and hamstrings are quite weak. Even
but
for,
I will
you know?
okay, but I'll look, everybody has their own opinion. We've all been doing this for decades, so it's all valid. What I guess in my opinion, I think the three things that hurt him most were this. You're right, his imbalance in the back, glutes, hams, back are all imbalanced compared to the front. Number 2, his condition wasn't nearly up to par like last year.
It wasn't. No.
And number 3, when I did watch some of the video, he looked like he was gassing really hard during his
His
posing.
posing.
Yeah.
And his
yeah.
stomach
Which
was
probably hurt
coming
him.
up. Right.
Probably
So
hurt
I
him the
think,
most.
yeah, because I think the presentation was severely lacking. So I think those 3 things set him back. But what I was going to say is, I think if we saw the same Crizzo we saw last year, I
I think he would have ended up.
I had him in second at least.
I
think he would have beat BEHROOZ if he was the same Crizzo as last year.
I mean, BEHROOZ and Bonac, they were 1 point. They split by 1 point.
Yeah.
So
I know.
I mean, I don't think that he would. I think BEHROOZ was very, very good, and I think honestly, in my opinion, if I was picking, well, I thought they were both amazing, but I preferred BEHROOZ. I would have gone that way, but I think neither is a bad decision. I think they both look great. Bonac was incredible, so I don't think, but I had BEHROOZ actually ahead of Bonac, and I think that Crizzo was a pretty distant. I honestly could have, in my mind, made the case for Sasan beating Crizzo.
Yeah,
I thought Sasan was more complete for sure.
At this show, I'm not pushing Crizzo because I realize he was the three things that really went against him. They really went against him. But I like I said, I was kind of with Seth where I remembered how good he looked last year, and I was like, that version I think would have
With
been more
some,
competitive.
with
Yeah.
some more. I was
Yeah.
expecting him to come in. His lats were, I think he was really super flat.
Yeah.
I just
His-
thought
like-
he was going to have a
yeah.
lot more
Yeah.
pop, and he
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
But then BEHROOZ came out and
Crazy.
big fan.
this is the part that
Is
I
wild.
love his. I love
Yeah.
his physique.
Wow.
So this is the part that confuses me though, Ian. So in my mind, the BEHROOZ Bonac fight, or whatever you want to call it, is equal to Fitzwater and Walker. You have a shorter guy who's compact with a ton of muscle, a little bit wider waist, versus a guy who's very streamlined with nice shape, a little bit, legs are a little bit smaller. That's not nearly like Martin, but a little bit imbalanced in the front quad.
Well, and it ended up the exact same way with 1 point.
No, I
exact
know,
same
but
as
but
Martin.
you're saying something different. That's the confusing part. Because last week or whatever in New York, you were like, it's Nick. He's just too good on the bodybuilding end. And
Well,
this,
wait. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not like trying to call you out. I'm just saying like
No, but I don't necessarily agree. There's a difference between me thinking what they're going to choose when I'm making a prediction versus what I thought Nick was too overwhelming. But when I'm talking here in terms of what I preferred, and if I was judging, I preferred BEHROOZ. I also did prefer Martin.
Oh,
So-
okay, that's different then. That's
Yeah,
different.
look,
Okay.
I think Nick was, and I was very honest that I thought Nick was definitely not at his best. His conditioning had been better. His midsection control wasn't the best it's ever been by any means.
Right.
And I thought Martin was his absolute best. He was very crisp. His conditioning was incredible.
Mhm.
And I did prefer his physique, but I also did understand from a judging perspective the overwhelming amount of size that Nick has. But that doesn't mean that that's my preference.
So you're the same thought process for this show, though.
I'm the exact same thought process.
Okay,
well,
that's
not too much, because look, I don't think that Bonac and Nick are necessarily a comparable. I think that
No, but to scale, I think Bonac and BEHROOZ are to scale the same as Walker and Martin.
I see where you're going with it. I do understand. So yeah, I don't completely disagree. One was a little more densely muscled in certain areas, with not quite as as nice of a waistline and physique, a little more blocky, but really strong in the back shots, very dense in the side shots, same as Nick. And
Right.
BEHROOZ, just like Martin, like murdered him in the front shots. The front double, front lat, abs and thigh. He just like absolutely
But
mutilated him.
I don't think he murdered him though, because from the front, like, listen, I love
100%.
BEHROOZ's physique. I've been talking about it for years. The only thing is, from the front, I do feel like his legs are a little straight up and down.
I agree, but I think they were definitely improved. And I think with how his physique looked, it kind of like works and kind of flows nicely with his physique. I think in years past, I looked at them more as a negative, but I think the quads have come up enough, and that his waistline is so nice and long and hot, and lats are so high that it actually kind of works with his physique. I don't really
say his presentation at this show was much better too.
Yeah.
Like his presentation and posing from behind, like, dude, this is I think his best.
Yeah, like
Paul,
his conditioning was just like ridiculous.
Yeah, his conditioning is always great. Paul, what do you think about the three of these, or four people? Even Sass looked really good too. But what do you think of these four?
I didn't see a lot of good pictures. The ones that I did see were dark. So the ones that I did see, it looked like BEHROOZ. Looked like he looked the best from the back to me. I know he's pretty glute dominant. Something that you pointed out, Fouad. But his detail and his back, I think, is pretty crazy. I think he's pretty good for the back. And it looked to me like he won the back shots.
Yeah.
From the front is where, like, I know his quads don't, like the little bit like,
but his
quads don't quite sweep as well as, like a Bonax or even Crizzo's. So I think that's where he loses a little bit. But again, I want to see some better shots. But I thought from what I saw, Bonac had the most complete package, I got to say. That's what I felt.
Can I show you these pictures here, Paul? Just because I think the lighting's a little better on these.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Bonac won from the back personally. BEHROOZ won from the back.
I have BEHROOZ winning from the front and losing from the back.
Okay. Can I see some front shots too?
This is
I think BEHROOZ wins that all day.
I don't know if I believe that. I mean,
I
think
the front double less so than the front lat. I think Bonac's weakest shot is probably his front lat.
Yeah.
His chest and his front lat is really not a strong point. But even there, like that front double to me, that's BEHROOZ all day.
Yeah, I think
so. The chest has more projection. The flow is nice.
It's hard to judge though, because it almost looks like Bonac's leaning back, and I don't
like the way he hits that pose. I know he's trying to twist a little bit for the his arms are starting. Maybe his arms don't look as impressive in that shot.
Well, the one thing I did say to you, Paul, is I've said this on a podcast a number of times, but like, the bigger your arms look, the smaller your waist looks.
For sure.
And I think Bonak's waist is probably a little bit wider than before, and his arms are a little bit downsized. So I think everything is a little bit off compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, overall, like it's a really good comeback for Bonak, because I think people kind of wrote him off.
Without seeing like great pictures, the way I thought about it was like everybody was missing something. I thought Bonak had the fewest flaws.
Look at that. I mean, that's still great.
He looked
Boss of Outlaws doing some shit, man.
I know. I gave him a shout out on my story. It's so impressive what this guy's doing, you know.
Like this is fucking, and this is another Stefan disciple. I mean, Stefan.
This guy's 43, man. This is crazy.
I mean, I'm fucking 2 years older. I look like a bag of shit.
Dude, I'm 10 years younger and I look like a bag of shit.
Look at though, I could forget it. It's just
his side shots I thought were excellent. Like his quarter turn here is fucking that's ridiculous.
That's fucked up. Like
that's nuts.
Yeah.
Side chest was awesome. He got a crazy side chest. He's got like one of those Charles Griffin kind of side chests, you know.
Look at that, man.
And then that's just like fucking dense. So
I don't know if I love how he's leaning forward, but it looks awesome.
Well, I think he sets. Oh no, he doesn't.
No, he didn't set back with it.
Do you think that's good enough to crack top 10 Olympia?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough to crack the top 6.
I think both him and BEHROOZ are top 10 guys.
I don't know if I think BEHROOZ is top 10 guy. That's now we got a debate.
We'd have to start going through.
Crizzo was 7th last year, and I think that this version of BEHROOZ beats last year's version of Crizzo.
I agree.
I don't think so.
I do. I think he's just too complete. Yeah.
I think if we're talking about the top 10, watch Derek, Hottie. I'm just going by last year's placing. Derek, Hottie, Samson. Throw Nick in there. Hunter, Andrew, Bonak, Martin. We got 2 placings left.
Yeah, but I think BEHROOZ is comparable and close, and Bonak are close in that group with like Martin and Hunter and kind of right in there.
I don't think BEHROOZ is comparable to Bonak. I don't think he's comparable. Well, he's comparable, obviously, but
he is. He just lost by 1 point.
Yeah, I know. But I think when you slide Martin in there, Martin is between Bonak and Akeem. Akeem and Martin both beat BEHROOZ, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
You don't think Akeem beats BEHROOZ?
No, I think that
version Toronto.
I think that version of BEHROOZ would have beat Akeem, no problem.
Yeah, in Toronto. Yeah,
we're gonna have some good fucking picks at the Olympics.
That's an interesting. That would have been an interesting comparison.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, I mean, and that's just going to show the excitement for that 6 through 10, that 7.
BEHROOZ only beats
how close it is,
and 2 shots. That's it. 2 shots.
Both the back shots, his conditioning, as a whole,
but they're pretty big margins
is
too.
very good.
Akeem's conditioning in Toronto was great.
It was good.
It was good. We've seen him better. He was better at the Arnold finals and at the Arnold Classic UK. So I have seen him better. He was still good, but he wasn't his best.
Yeah.
You know.
And you think BEHROOZ can beat Martin?
I don't know if he can beat him, but I think he's in the conversation with. I think that is a group of.
He's in the conversation for sure. But
7 through 12 is those guys of like maybe leading that pack is Hunter, to the bottom of that pack is BEHROOZ and Martin.
I don't think Hunter's in that group. I don't think
Hunter's in the top 5.
I think Hunter, Andrew, and somebody else are in a different group.
I agree. That's a different, I think, tier.
I think that's a different level.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, Hunter was 7th last year, 6th last year, right?
I don't think it matters. He's a different bodybuilder, man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see when he does Italy this year. See if it translates to that much of a difference.
And I just think
last year.
I think even if you took Hunter last year, I think Hunter is in a different. Like if you said to me right now, Hunter and Martin are going to compete this weekend, I don't think.
No, I still think he beats it, but I'm saying I think that he wins that call out. But I think the first call out of Derek, Hottie, Samson, Nick, Andrew, probably Brandon.
Ian,
those are guys that have beat him, and I think that
Tonio.
But Ian, you have to admit, just because somebody's in a call out, they don't necessarily mean that they are in the same call out.
Okay,
like you know what I mean?
No, I'm just thinking of it of organizing by groups of guys at the Olympia. Do I think he's closer to that first group? Absolutely. I agree with you there 100%.
Yeah.
That's an interesting top 10.
Because I think Hunter and Andrew.
It's hard, yeah.
I think if you talk about Hunter and Andrew, they're definitely closer to the top 4 than they are the back 4.
I agree.
Like they're kind of in that middle spot almost on their own.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's the cusp of it. I think it's the cusp of greatness. They're like their version of their.
They're right there,
and that's how I see it the same. So I see that those guys are like on the outside cusp of that.
Right.
And I think that these other guys are on the high end cusp of the next. So I see them kind of as a group.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of our our tier debate.
Yeah, it is the tier debate. You're right.
Yeah, Seth, we used to have we had this long ass debate one time about tier 1 bodybuilding versus tier 2 bodybuilding. And I said that tier 1 was 1 through 6. Those are tier 1. That's what everybody considers.
He only said that because I was 7th both years. So
Oh, that's not why I said. Ian got upset and he said tier 1 is 7 through 12 or some shit, and 1 through 6 is elite. I'm like, there's no elite. There's tier 1, there's tier 2. That's it.
It was the verbiage. It was the verbiage.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, what do you think? Did you watch any of the show? Did you see any of the pictures?
Yeah, I thought BEHROOZ won.
You did, but
Mhm.
you thought Martin won.
I just don't like. I don't like the way Bonac looks from the front, to be very honest.
Yeah,
Aesthetically.
but you
think
thought
it's
the same.
off.
But you thought the same thing about New York, right? Like you thought, because I feel like it's kind of the same battle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Martin, so I was hoping that would be the case in New York, but
Yeah.
I was also way off on my picks, so
Yeah.
I have nowhere to
take it-
talk.
Let's take a look at some video. What did you think of? So Bonac, you weren't a fan of from the front.
Yeah, I mean, I like
only-
him.
the
But
only-
I just think he's got an odd. Like when he's standing there right now, he looks great, but when he starts opening up in poses, it's like that pigeon chest and like kind
yeah,
of
the
weird
only shot
structure.
that
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
hold on. Let's see. Let's pause this for a second. So that's the front double.
Hmm,
I mean,
I'm just-
I don't know. I kind of, Ian, I still give that. I kind of still give that to fucking Bonac.
yeah, that's a better shot, but I think the front lat is a different story.
If Curzo's in shape, that's him.
Look
all
how
day.
good. Look how good Sass looks. I could. You're right, Ian. I probably could make a case for third.
Yeah.
Let's see how they go. I was the one video I saw of Curzo. He looked like he was really struggling to pose.
Yeah, we could see him breathe there too. See his stomach.
See this shot here for Bonac, I don't love.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it's
Okay.
tougher for guys with like a little bit wider waist.
Well, and he's got very narrow clavicle, so his chest really
Yeah.
shrinks in there when he does that. You know,
Yeah.
I like Sass a lot in that shot too.
Let's see. Is he done? Yeah, he's done there.
Yeah.
Let's see how. Yeah, Curzo is just not the same Curzo from last year.
No.
If he was on, he's a
He's so big.
Yeah, he
from the
is.
front especially.
Fucking monster. Let's see this side shot here.
That's Bonac looks crazy there.
Yeah, Bonac's fucking great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
BEHROOZ
Sass-
is shot for
BEHROOZ, yeah.
Sass is giving him a run. I could
For
totally
sure.
see that.
I like BEHROOZ in that shot too.
BEHROOZ's ham drop is really nice.
Yeah.
Side glute, armed out. Yeah, he looks
The
good.
detail's crazy.
Let's see, I'm trying to figure out where Curzo beat Sass because I'm not seeing it yet.
I didn't think he did.
Let's see when Sass opens up here. There we go.
I like Sass there.
That's for sure Bonac.
Yeah.
I wonder if Sass was more if it was a conditioning thing with him and BEHROOZ or with BEHROOZ. I mean, he's behind Curzo, which I can't really see why at this point, other than size.
Yeah, I think Curzo's just too much. Just too much. Like he was off for sure, and his posing was really off, but he gives up a lot of size to him.
Mike, what do you think about Sass here and Curzo? Do you think
I mean, Sass kills him on the back lat.
Mike
What'd you think of the back double bicep?
is Mike alive?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Tell me what you think about.
I'm trying to answer. So can
I know, but
fucking
they
say something.
keep cutting you off.
Sorry.
I don't
Go
know.
ahead.
I like Crizzle's structure on the back. I like it better than I like Sass's, to be honest. But
Okay.
I can see why he beat Sass. Like I can understand it.
Yeah.
I think he's just a bigger, like better looking physique, and some of his shots are more picturesque than I would say Sass's are.
I don't know why. Is that the end
Even
of
with- Even with its condition being off, I guess.
it? Here's some shots of Curzo. Yeah, I don't think he's lacking in the hamstrings. He's got small glutes, but his hamstrings are pretty thick.
Yeah,
It's
they
not-
look good from the side.
They're just not stripped out.
He's not. He really pinches his shoulders on that pose, eh?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. He's not opening that up at all.
Seems to leave his head forward all the time on
Yeah.
the back shots. He like shoves his head forward and pulls
Yeah,
his
yeah.
arms behind
Yeah.
his head.
Yeah, he's really pulling his shoulders together here, Paul. And you say that, I can see it.
Loses width.
Well, okay, so we all agree with the judges pretty much then.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay.
I mean, I'm excited to see what BEHROOZ and Curzo do next.
What is next? There's Vancouver next, right?
Is there anything before that? Vancouver is what, first week of July?
To my knowledge, it's Vancouver, then Chicago, and then Italy, isn't it? Or is there
Hey,
something
there's
else?
There's another European show, I think, in there, another Spain or Portugal show.
You know what? Somebody said something about Nathan versus BEHROOZ. I think that's coming up soon.
Big man show.
Does Nathan beat BEHROOZ? Ian, you're a big fan of BEHROOZ. What do you think?
That's tough, man. I'm a big fan of Nathan too. I think that's a tough one.
I think if Nathan, I mean, look, with what Stefan has been putting out, I think we might see a version of Nathan that we haven't seen possibly. I think the potential is there. I mean, I also think Nathan's right in that is in the conversation for a top 10 Olympia as well. If he gets to the Olympia, that's always been. That's what I mean. Like if he gets to that Olympia, he can be in that conversation because right now we're about to see a mad dash. What are we? 17 weeks out from the O.
Yeah,
it's a mad.
No, but dash. I don't mean if he wins a show to get to the Olympia. I mean like if he can cross the border.
Oh
yeah,
that's been the holdup for the last few years. Bad. So like I don't know if he's got that fixed or not or whatever. But
good point.
Going back to the show, I personally think Nathan will beat BEHROOZ. I think he's going to be more compact, but he's going to have too much muscle.
Going by his look from last year, his best look from last year, I would say so too.
Yeah, I think BEHROOZ is a larger structure, but Nathan's going to be more muscular. Yeah, he's going to look good on
a little bit more complete, maybe too.
And he's definitely going to be conditioned working with Stefan. So
dense.
Ian, what do you think? BEHROOZ or Nathan? Can you make a call, or are you going to walk the fence? Same with Seth. Seth didn't really say anything. He just said a bunch of diarrhea, and then he like.
I think
I clearly was like, if Nathan does.
No, you said if this, if that. You didn't actually say.
I say Nathan.
Who wants to say? Somebody say other than me, please.
I'll say it. Nathan.
I said Nathan.
Okay, Nathan. So Paul and Mike are both Nathan. Yeah.
Ian. Yeah, I think Nathan with his how he looks with Stefan and his improvements, I think will be tough to beat. I think he's probably improved a good chunk, and I think it'll be close, but I see Nathan winning that. Yeah,
Seth,
Nathan again.
It's unanimous.
I do think BEHROOZ is better from the back, but I think Nathan is overall better.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go back and we didn't cover Toronto. We should probably skim through it quickly because it was a big show.
It was awful.
Was it? Were you there? Were you there, Mike?
Yeah, I was there and I left.
It was that bad.
You didn't say hi, Mike.
Well, fuck, Paul, you wouldn't turn around. Me and Ian were like trying to get your attention.
Were you really? I didn't hear you guys call my name or anything.
Paul likes to sit there and chew on his glasses when he acts like he's fucking really into stuff. He's got his glasses like.
That means I'm deep in thought, Mike.
Thinking hard, yeah.
Deep in thought.
He takes them off and he's like.
Very focused.
Are you pretending, Paul, or are you actually deep in thought?
No, I'm deep in thought.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. What thoughts? Who knows? But
yeah, who knows what thoughts.
All right. This is Quint.
You know what's crazy about these pictures from Toronto? Me and Ian were like in the second row, and no one looked as good as these pictures.
Really?
Like I swear to God,
it's usually the opposite.
Yeah. The lighting,
I know, but like, yeah, like I just didn't see like some of the Christmas in these pictures that I'm seeing from different guys that I were like, when they first walked out, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like,
did you guys think Akeem deserved to win? Did everybody, Paul, you were judging, did you think Akeem deserved to win?
Yeah, I thought Akeem was a pretty
actually, you know what? This is actually good. Paul, you were judging. So I know you told me a couple things privately. I don't know if you care to share, but
yeah, sure.
You thought Akeem won.
Thought Akeem won.
Are you allowed to share your judging opinion?
I don't see why not. Yeah, I think so.
So you thought Akeem won. Who did you have in second?
I actually had John Jewett in second. By a very close margin over Quint.
Why did you pick that?
I was impressed with Quint's improvements, especially from New York, but I still feel like his physique needs to be filled out more. That he's got such a large frame, and I just feel like the density's not there yet on his frame. And I felt John was very complete. I thought that was a very good John. Quentin definitely beat him on certain poses, but overall I had John ahead by probably about one pose.
Can I ask you a question about Quint? So I know Quentin weighed more. I forget what it was, but I know he weighed more than he did the previous show.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, he just looked a little more full, but also a little softer. So it's not like his muscle looked way better. It just he looked a little softer than when Matt brought him in, but obviously a little bit more full. So he looked better. But it wasn't like he was more full with the same condition.
Yeah. I wasn't at New York, so I can't speak on that. But going by the pictures, he looked to me like he was fuller in Toronto than in New York. I thought he was better.
Yeah.
But I just don't think the density's there yet to show that kind of detail and thickness that that we want to see on a frame that big. And it's going to take time to fill out that frame. Quinton's a very young guy.
So as a judge, you had Quint third.
Yes.
And then I think Robin Strand was fourth. Did you have Robin Strand in fourth?
I did in the morning, and in the evening I had Tim in the fourth.
So overall, who would you have put in fourth? Tim.
No disrespect to Robin. Robin looked great. He brought an improved package again. But Tim was good, and I feel like maybe we overlooked him a little bit in the morning. And when I saw him in the night, he really stood out to me. He was big. He was shredded. I just thought his overall package was just a little bit too much for Robin.
Why does Tim keep getting put back? Like, is it his back shots? Is it his posing? Like, because I know he brings good condition.
Brings great condition. He's thick. He's got, he's really well developed and balanced from the back. He's a little bit square from the back. The taper isn't quite there from the back, and I think that hurts him against some tougher lineups.
Right.
And even from the front, he's not thick waisted from the front, but the taper is not really that dramatic as it is with some guys too. A little bit more square.
It's probably because his back is not as big as it needs to be.
Yeah, I think that would definitely help his front poses, like front lat and front double bicep, maybe even front ab. But Tim's big and he's hard and and he's balanced and he brings a pretty impressive look.
Now, Ian and Mike, you guys were both sitting kind of behind Paul. Did you think Paul said he had John in second? Do you guys kind of agree with that, or what did you guys think when you were sitting there?
I'll let Mike go first. I was cutting him off too much before, so I'll let him go first this time.
No. I think I could see how Paul could see it that way, but I think even Quinton being a little softer and like a little fuller, like just his aesthetic and his presence is enough to overwhelm someone, right? So,
right,
especially when John kind of was like, it wasn't outsized, I would say, but he did kind of look smaller in that lineup, but he definitely has a shit ton of muscle. So it's like, but when you're standing next to a guy like Quint and like you could be as good as you are, but you're still a lot smaller, right? So
right.
Yeah,
Quint sitting front doubles and you're like under his armpit and he's.
But Mike, you also seem to have a bias towards a taller, more streamlined physique.
No, I mean, I guess I maybe do, but I just I liked John when he came out on his own, and then when I saw him beside everybody, I was like, I think John's physique is great, and I think his posing's great and everything. It's just like, it was just once the picture frame filled in and all the other parts were there, it kind of was like, wow, he is like kind of small. Like,
he's a small frame guy.
Yeah.
He's like the polar opposite of Quint.
You think that Quint had like the Andrew Jacked effect, where it's like,
it's like when he opens up, things happen and they like appear. Right. Whereas when John would hit stuff, it would just be like a beautiful setting of the shot, but it wasn't like things were exploding.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just.
Ian, what did you think, man? Did you have the same opinion as Mike or Paul, or what did you think?
Initially, when they came out, I had John. When they first came out and I first watched them, I thought that Quinton looked a little fuller, like you said, but I also thought his conditioning wasn't as good as I'd seen it. Yeah. So I thought it was a sacrifice that I think it was just like one for the other, and it wasn't like a fullness with the keeping, the same kind of conditioning.
Right.
But as they posed more, Quinton did get a little better, came a little more to life, and I did see him being in that second spot. I think I also set John, I think I set an image in my head that I expected him to be a little better based off his photos, and he didn't, like in that lineup, he didn't quite stand out quite as much as he looks by himself in still photography. And I think, like, you can see in his abs and thighs there, I think his peak wasn't perfect. You can see his abs have a little bit of a layer. I don't know if he spilled a little bit, really trying to push the fullness. So it wasn't the crispest, like he looked good, but it wasn't quite like as crisp as I imagined.
Can see a film there. Yeah.
It wasn't quite as nice. So when they first came out, I had John. As they went on and throughout the show, then I ended up changing my opinion to Quinton. So I agree with the position that they have them in. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No. Sorry. I just wanted to agree with you because I don't know if it's the photos. You guys were there.
Yeah, we were front row.
He does look like he spilled a little bit. Did that look like that in person?
Yes, to me
Yeah.
it did. And it's different when you spill like you're a Quinton, you spill when you have a big frame, where
Right.
it's like you needed the bit of fullness.
Right.
But when you're a shorter, compactor guy, he was in that lineup, like Mike said, he kind of got a little lost size wise just by his structure.
Right.
Keem is pretty big and shaped nicely. Quinton's big. Robin, even though he's not as heavily muscled, is still a pretty big guy, like taller, big guy. So I found he kind of got lost in the mix there in terms of his stature. So I think Quinton I would have had second, John third, and I do agree. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead, Ian. Sorry.
I think that I agree with Paul. Robin was very, very good for Robin. His conditioning was probably, especially from the back, was probably the best in the whole show. It was outrageous in person, to be honest. He was peeled out of his mind. But Tim is just a little heavier muscled, and I do agree. I think they overlooked him a little bit, and I would have had him in that 4 spot. I think Robin was really good, but I think Tim was just a little hair better for me.
I wonder, do you guys think you all three, like I said, all three of you were sitting there, so just curious what you all think. Do you guys think if John had peaked as well as his pre-show photos had looked, do you think he would have pulled ahead of Quint? Because this back shot, like I said, I don't know judging by photos, but I feel like some of his detail got lost.
Yeah,
I believe those shots were for the morning. In the finals, I felt like he was a little bit sharper.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's harder to play catch up. You know what I mean? Like if you're like,
well,
also,
I mean, the conversation at the table, like I was outvoted. So, I'm not saying that I was right by any means.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who is right. I'm just asking you guys an objective question. Like if he was 100% dialed in, would like Mike said, would that, him being a smaller structured guy, would that still have held true? Or would have, if he was peeled out of his mind and like peaked perfectly, would he have been able to overtake Quint? I guess I'm asking Mike and Ian, because Paul already had him in second. So do you guys think it would have made a difference, or would you'd still have him in third?
It's hard to say.
I mean, it's hard to say. I might have, because like I said, when they first came out, I did initially have John, but I think Quinton got a little better as he posed. He got a little more fullness, a little crisper as he did pose. So, I did like as time went on.
I looked at Ian when Quinton first came out to do his individual thing, whatever, and I was like, oh fuck, he spilled bad, he's fucking flat.
He didn't look like he looked in New York.
And I was like, but then like Ian said, once he got put through rounds and he was posing, by the time they did that second call out of calling them back out to the front in the prejudge, he was fucking, I was like, oh, there he is. He
filled back out,
yeah. Quentin did his work. You could tell he was ready to pose. He was in shape. He was, he was there to compete. And that was awesome to see.
I just wonder, and this is, like I said, this is totally outside of any factual fucking thinking. I'm just I felt like he lost tissue going into New York. I felt like they sacrificed some muscle tissue, but they got him extremely peeled. Then they filled him back out. He's not working with Matt, working with Dorian. They fill him back out, but the tissue's still not there. Whatever we saw in the off season that we thought was legit, okay, he's going to be bigger, didn't seem to translate even after they filled him back out for Toronto.
In certain areas, you think more than others, perhaps?
I don't know. I have to see some comparison shots between the Tampa from 2 years ago and this show, but he doesn't look extremely bigger to me. But
he does in certain areas to me.
But he definitely looked fuller than he did in New York, but he didn't look tissue wise, he put on a lot of tissue over the course of the year and a half he'd been off.
Yeah, to me, he looks bigger in certain areas, but there's still a couple areas that I think need to be filled in more. To complete that physique, that big frame.
Seth, what did you think? Just looking online, I wasn't there either. So, what did you think of the show?
I think that the reason that Mike brought it up earlier with John, I think it was Mike. Whenever he starts posing, nothing really pops out and starts grabbing your eye. And when you're going up against someone like Quint, that's what he has.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at this. Look at these two shots. That's
And I mean, I think Quinton is better than he was a couple years ago. But I think that we're picking that dude the fuck apart. Everybody is what's going on. But I think time will tell, and he's going to get better. But I think that John's downfall was the fact that he did spill a little bit, and he was going up against someone who just is like a fucking blooming flower when he poses. Because whenever it just happens, whenever you're watching it in person or you're watching it online, like the videos, like whenever Martin poses, like Martin just feathers just start popping out and you're like, ooh, look at this. And whenever you start seeing other competitors that have it, you're like, fuck, this is wild. And that's what makes it super difficult to judge when someone's not quite on like John was. But I'm a big John Jewett fan. But I think I was super hopeful something wild was going to occur. And I was like, shit, he missed.
Did you kind of feel that way because you kind of see yourself in John a little bit, like the shorter white guy with the
it's not quite
trying to hold the short white guy down, man.
But no, I mean, I'm excited to see. I didn't follow it along to see what John was going to do next, if he's going to do something next.
I think Vancouver
I think he said Vancouver.
Yeah, but then is Quentin shutting it down or no? He's going.
I don't know.
You know, I gotta say something though about that, Seth. I'm not trying to pick Quentin apart. I'm a huge Quentin fan. Oh, and I really want to see him. Like I've been hoping. I'm like the rest of Quentin fans. Like we're all waiting.
Dude,
like
whenever you have that much potential, you got to be able to accept all of the fucking critiques.
Right.
Whenever you have it, like the dude has something super special. So it's like we're all like, like
when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen?
So
like we're all like,
that's just. I mean, we all know that's part of even doing a podcast and putting yourself out there and your thoughts and your all that, because people love picking it apart. It's fun.
Right. Sorry, Mike, you were gonna say something.
Ian, who is the guy? Who is the fake Martin Fitzwater I was talking about at the show?
Martin Fitzwater dupe.
And I called him Martin Stillwater.
Martin Stillwater. Vladimir, Vladimir guy. He ended up 9 or 10. Yeah, Vova.
Yeah. He had some good body parts.
It's not a bad dude to look like, to be honest. So fuck
yeah.
Martin Stillwater.
It's not an insult at all.
All right,
Hassan. Not to shit on someone, but Hassan was probably the biggest disappointment. Terrible. He was off. He was very far off.
He was massive.
He walked on stage like he was lost, like he didn't know he was supposed to be there. Like he literally walked out like, oh.
There's those times when you can tell, like when you walk on stage. Like I've had a showing like that in my life, to Tampa, that I lost to Hunter. When you walk on stage, you just know you're not there. And like you could see it in his facial expressions. Like when I competed against him last year, he knew he was on and he thought he was going to win. And he posed that way. He thought he beat me. Versus this, he knew he missed the mark, and he knew he wasn't in the conversation, and he acted accordingly.
It's funny.
He wasn't even close. I mean, he was at a 6-week outlook.
It's funny you say that. It's every competitor does know. You try your hardest to ignore it, but you're like,
you can't.
When you're posing in the mirrors backstage, when you're like bang on and where you're fucked.
100%.
It's like when I did the Fat Toronto. I was like, oh, man, I'm like my glutes are melting into my hamstrings. I'm like, this is not
especially if you've been in good shape before. Like I understand maybe you've only done a few shows and you've never been in crazy shape, and then you don't know. But like if you've been peeled out of your mind, you look at yourself and you're like, oh my God, like I'm not what I've seen myself look like before, you're flexing, you're stomping down your quads and there's not the same tightness, or you're feeling your lower abs and you're like, oh my God, there's still a little something I can grab there,
But you know what? It's not only fat, it's also flat. Like there's this feeling, I don't know if Seth, if you've experienced this, I'm sure you have, but there's this feeling when everything is perfect. It's almost like I would get tingles. I'd be like, oh fuck. Like you would start pumping up and everything would like, you'd start to like
come to life.
You'd almost get like goosebumps. You're like, holy fuck, I can like everything's just starting to fill out.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't happen, you're like, come on, man, I'm pumping up, but nothing's happening. I'm like, fuck.
It's funny when someone walks out, like sometimes it takes a pose or two to really see if someone's really on or off. When Akeem first walked out, right away you knew he was on. So and I remember looking at Rudy and Becky, we're all like, oh, this is a good Akeem, good, he's going to make it easy on us. But then when Hassan came out, the exact same reaction. We were all like, ooh, he's off.
Yeah. We're gonna take a look at, I guess we did make picks for Empro, but these were our picks for Toronto. So let's go through. Ian, 3. Wait, where did Hassan finish? 6.
6.
So 4. John was third. Quint was
2.
Sorry, 2.
And Tim was 5th.
Tim was 5th. Robin was 4th. So your total is,
and Vova was 9th or 10th. So let's say 4 or 3.
3. So 4, 6, 9, 12.
Okay.
Mike. Hakeem Hassan was 6th. John was 3rd. Quint. Sorry. Tim. Robin was 4th. Jang. I don't know where'd Jang finish?
Somewhere
Anybody
around
know?
10.
Okay, so we'll just say
I'll get the. I'll
we'll
get
just say
the.
3. It's
I
fine.
think I don't remember.
No, let's just say 3. We're not splitting hairs here, guys.
Let's get it. Put a 5.
4, 6, 8, 11. Paul.
Yeah.
I didn't do any picks.
Akeem. Oh, you didn't. That's John De La Rosa. Let's see what John got. Akeem, John,
Actually, I gotta pass
Hassan. That's 3. Quint, 2. Tim, Robin, 2. Where was Nate Spear? Let's just give
Okay.
him.
Jang was 11.
So 4. 12.
Vladimir was 8.
Wait, Vladimir was 8. So that's 2.
Two.
You just put you ahead of Mike.
Fucking motherfucker.
It was backwards.
Where was
Nate?
Nate Spear? Where was Nate Spear?
Nate was 10.
10. So that's okay. So 3. So 13's right. So John was 13. Okay,
Yeah.
I got Akeem. Hassan was 6th. John, Quint, 2. Robin, 1. Tim, 1. Jang. Where was Jang? 11.
So 4.
So 4, 6, 7, 8, 12.
13.
No. No,
You
12.
lost.
6,
You lost.
7, 8, 12. Yeah, 12. Yeah. I won again.
Fuck.
I'm fucking undefeated still.
This is bullshit. I was
Who
fucking
the fuck is this Bulba guy?
yeah, I know.
Fucking Bova. That's Martin Fitzwater dupe right there.
Fucking
Oh,
Jang.
no wonder he did so well.
Fucking Jang fucked me. I knew he was not going to be. Fuck. I knew it.
Jang sucked.
John lost. John, you got to grow your hair out if you're listening.
Oh man.
Who was the dude from Paris that we saw? Ian? Who was that dude?
Yeah, the French guy.
Holy fuck. That is
shit,
the
Paul, what
worst
was
thing I've
that?
ever seen, dude.
You know, in the master's class, there was Brent Swanson, then that black dude.
Yeah.
That guy.
From France. What about him?
This guy was fucking rough, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have won the Ottawa Naturals that I judged last weekend.
So wait a second. Before we move on, we have a couple bets. John De La Rosa, if you're listening, I'm sure one of your fans will send you this.
You lost.
You lost. You have to grow your hair out for 8 weeks. Okay. Now, the second bet me and Paul had was at the Empro. Paul said that BEHROOZ was going to beat Bonac. And the bet was that he had to grow his hair out for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I get one haircut first, and then I can do it.
Yeah, but your 8 weeks starts after you get your haircut.
Yeah, I know. I realize that.
Yeah.
I'm timing it. I'm not sure when to do it yet. I'm looking at my calendar.
It doesn't really matter. It's going to be 8 weeks regardless.
I'm gonna have to do it before something that's fairly where I need to look decent at
You
least.
can't wait till we forget. Just cut
No,
your
it'll
fucking
be
hair.
like within a week or so.
It's going to be before the next podcast.
What kind of plans you got this week?
No, nothing really. But I just try to time my haircuts for like for example, I have a show in a week and a half or 2 weeks, so I don't want to look like a fucking scrub there. So
Oh,
I
so
figured,
you're
I'll
gonna
time
wait.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
You should just start wearing do-rags, Paul.
Yeah, start wearing a
While I'm judging,
fedora.
while I'm at the
Wear a
judging
fedora.
table.
What you're judging. Yeah.
Seth, before we move on to questions, how did your launch go? I know you did a summer launch of your clothing this week.
Oh, that's on Thursday. That's
Oh, you
this
haven't launched yet?
Thursday. Yeah, it goes on.
Oh, we're giving you a plug ahead of time. The summer
Thank
launch.
you very much. Yes, bunch of new cool shit. I appreciate it.
I saw some
Everyone
stuff
go
you're
buy
doing.
some shit.
Are you doing like you're doing golf shit now?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I like golfing.
But I don't know if the gun, like the gun sign and the golf goes together.
Goes
Yeah.
together very well.
Pretty good done to the golf course.
Dude,
Man,
when
there's just man all around, you know?
Yeah.
so many people golf. It is unbelievable.
I know. You know what's crazy though?
So
Is
many people.
like when I'm thinking of the brand, I think to myself, Hostile Golf. And not that I want to do golf stuff, but I'm just like, that doesn't work. And you're like all American roughneck with a gun, and you're like, we do golf stuff.
Yeah,
It's
fuck
like it doesn't matter. And
Dude,
I'm like,
there are so many people like the number of people that have golfed in their life at some point still continues to melt my mind.
I know
It
it's actually
is
true.
massive. Golf
Yeah.
is so big, it's unbelievable.
Right.
And it's
right.
just like, because I started golfing like 3-4 years ago. Like I needed something to do after I tore my tricep. I was like, fuck it, everybody's they're golfing, so I tried it. I was athletic at one point in my life.
Did it suck or did you like it?
Oh, dude, it's a good time. It's really, really hard. You're not going to be good at it.
I did it once. It was like, it sucked horribly and I just got drunk.
Yeah. So I just like I probably go like 6 to 8 times a year. But the big part was,
wait. When you go, do you go just to drink or do you go to actually play?
no, I go to play. I try.
Okay.
Like I'm good at driving the ball and like I can hit a 7-iron, 2 clubs. Everything else I kind of
no putting at all.
You
eh?
don't putt. You're just like
putting is so hard. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. But no, I just like going because I don't know. It's fun to have a few good hits. Like the guys at the company, there's people that are like they're really good golfers.
Yeah.
So we go and then I end up smoking cigars. Like I might have a beer. I might just drink Diet Pops the whole time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. But it's but the big part was our shorts. Like we have these hybrid shorts that we did, Bob found, and he's customized it so that like there's a gusset in between the legs, so they're super stretchy. They got a lot of room.
What's a gusset?
Yeah, what's a gusset?
So you know how like
it's like an extra piece of fabric.
Yeah, it's the fabric. So like
show me your balls. I can't see it.
Come here, put the camera closer, Seth. There we go.
There's a seam right here,
right on the chota.
On a gusset,
right on your chota. There's
right there. So they just put extra fabric. They put extra fabric there. So like whenever you spread your legs, or if you're a bigger guy, like put a gusset in there to move around a little more.
Nice.
Oh, wow. So yeah, the shorts are the killer. I'll send you guys some. That's what I need to do. You guys try them out.
That means some shorts,
boys. So
I'll go golfing if you send them to me, just so I can try them out.
I'll ride them. Nope, I'm not riding a motorcycle though.
No,
not doing that shit.
You know what? It's cool to have a different, like, it's kind of what I get from motorcycle riding. It's cool to have a different outlet other than working out. Like it's the golf or whatever, like whatever opposite thing that you can do that's like takes your mind away from training for a day or two or whatever.
I agree 100%. I kind of view that as like whenever somebody that's not really comfortable with the gym comes into the gym and they're like, they want to be with someone where they're going to learn something, they're going to pick it up. Like people come into the gym or they ask me questions. They're like, oh, this is so great. I'm gaining so much knowledge. And it just feels good to be with somebody that does that. It's really, I enjoy being in the opposite,
where you can learn from someone.
Where I'm able to go and be like, dude, fuck yeah, dude, you're really good at this. This is a lot of fun.
Right.
Like you might not ever, you're never going to compete. You're not even that great at lifting weights, but you're able to take me and teach me and have a good time. And we have a common ground of just understanding one another.
No, I know that feeling because when I was just in California going on that ride with the guys, one of the guys that was kind of leading the group was a motorcycle cop. And he's been riding a bike as a motorcycle cop for like 10 or 12 years or something like that, which is not a long time. Like my father-in-law's been riding for fucking 35 years, but I guess it's a long time if you think about doing it as a job where you're on a bike every day, all year round, even in the winter. So he was teaching us like how to ride pretty much. He was like, because we were going a little bit over the speed limit in some areas. And he was like, look, take these lines, do this with your bike, do that with your bike, go in at this gear instead of that gear. Like I was soaking it up. I'm like 5 times better rider I was than before I went. So it's kind of the same thing. Like, or like when me and Paul went to jiu-jitsu, we walked in there, we're like, we have no idea what the fuck we're doing. Tell us the secrets.
I think, I mean, I love doing shit like that. I love trying new stuff, even if I completely suck at it. It's just fun to kind of take your mind away. And then also like, but then at the same time now, like whenever, I'm back in the gym and training and someone asks me, or has questions or anything, I don't know, I'm a little more appreciative and open and exciting to teach people because it was a good, like just break from my mindset for a little bit.
Let me ask you this. Do you still like being that person if you have no chance of being good at the thing that you're doing?
I swallow my pride and leave my ego out of it. Completely.
No, I understand that. Like when we went to jiu-jitsu, I swallowed my pride, leave my ego at the door, right? I understand. But I'm saying, like, if somebody tried to teach me to play basketball, I'd be like, I don't want to do this. Like, because there's absolutely no chance in hell I'm ever going to be even remotely decent. So it's like, do you have to, is the prerequisite that you may be able to be decent at it one day?
Yeah, I'm not playing basketball. I will like if we're at the beach and people are playing beach volleyball, I am perfectly comfortable sitting on the sideline and just watching. I do not have to participate. I have no excitement to do it whatsoever.
Ian, do you feel like that? You feel like if you have zero chance of being good at something, do you still have a fun time doing it? Or do you have to have some level of like,
I'm trying to even think of like something that I've done recently that I thought that way about, or like,
well, like I'm saying, like track and field, for example, you know that you could be good, so it's exciting to get back to it, or like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of something that like I would or wouldn't have done that I would have been bad. Like,
look at Ian. Ian's like, I don't think I'd be bad at anything.
No.
I can't think of...
I'm not saying that I wouldn't
pretty
be
much kick ass year round at everything.
I'm just saying I can't even I'm not good at many things. I'm very not good at a lot of things, but I can't think of the circumstance of where I've been put in that position to remember how I reacted to it. Like I don't even know, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think I care that much. Like, I mean, like certain things like you know, like playing pool. I'm fucking terrible at that, but I don't care to like playing, get my ass whooped, you know?
Yeah, but but if you were playing against, but I think pool's a different thing.
Yeah.
Pool's like one of those things that like every guy thinks they can play. It's kind of like,
and they all suck.
It's like shooting guns. Like every guy thinks they can shoot a gun, but they can't.
Pretty hard.
It's like,
I mean, but it's also like in our heads, like just being dudes, we're like, all of a sudden, like we see it once or try it once, we're like, oh, dude, daydream that night. You go home and you're like, I could fucking do this, dude. You know how cool it'd be if you were really good at it.
There's no way. Yeah,
if I was good at it. Like it's just meathead, dumb. Dudes.
I think that's the thing. I think pool is one of those things where it's like, and somebody's probably going to correct me for saying this, but it's not genetic. Like you could probably learn how to do it and be pretty good if you practiced. Whereas like basketball, I'm like, I'm going to be shit no matter what. Like I could practice every day from now until I'm dead and I'm going to be crap.
Yeah,
you could get good.
Well, I could probably shoot a free throw, but I'm not going to ever dunk or like shoot threes, like for fun. Like,
I mean, you could get probably pretty good at shooting. Yeah.
No, but okay. Well, let's put it this way. I don't want to. It doesn't entice me. It doesn't entice me at all.
Well, I can't swim, but I love going in pools.
I can't. I don't know if that's the same.
Same thing.
No, it's not.
Same thing, totally.
No, because you're not swimming laps. You go to pool to cool off. It's not like you're like going to.
I swim a little bit. I'll swim end to end a couple times.
I flounder.
Dude, your pool is like 16 feet around.
It's 24 feet.
Okay, end to end is 12 feet.
It's a good run. You go back and forth a couple times. It's a good run.
Do you get worried if you go under, Paul?
Paul, end to end is 2 mics.
Mike's not 12 feet long.
2 mics.
Two mics.
2 mics.
To myself. Yeah, well, I guess you're thinking that way. It's not very far, but underwater is a lot harder.
No, it's not 12 feet long. Sorry. 24 around is what?
Before mics, yeah.
Yeah, before mics. Yeah, sorry. Anyways, okay. Let's do some questions before we get out of here. We've been here for a bit.
I was going to tell you guys something last week when we didn't do a podcast.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you now. So I did Ancestry like years ago.
Yeah.
Like years ago. I don't even remember when I did it. And I like you fill in your own what you know about your family and like you fill in your tree and all this shit.
Yeah.
So and then they sucker you on that app. So if you want, they find matches, they want you to like upgrade your membership and all this stuff. So I was like, fuck this fucking thing. Like every 2 days I'm getting a fucking update. You might have a cousin, you might have a this, that. So I never paid attention to it. But this one the other day, like before we were supposed to do a podcast last week, this woman messages me telling me I'm your half sister.
No way.
Yeah. And I was like, well, that's fucking odd. Cause like, which one of my parents has a kid that they don't know about? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the girl's like, she's like, we have the same dad. I'm like, what's your dad's name? She says my dad's name. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Holy shit.
So I'm like talking to her. She's like, I just want to meet up with you. Like, I live here, blah, blah, blah. And I have these kids and I'm married and da, da, da. And she's like, I'm like, so did my dad cheat on my mom with you? Was that like, she's only 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I don't think so. But like your dad hooked up with like had me with my mom, like, but like she never told him that he was pregnant. She was pregnant.
Wow.
She raised the baby. She raised her on her own. And now she doesn't talk to her mother either. So she's like,
does your dad know?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to my dad in 15 years.
Did she tell him?
So that's the weird part. No, she doesn't know him. She has never met him. She just found out in her 20s that was her dad.
Wow.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
So are you gonna meet her?
Yeah,
no.
you gonna meet her?
not a fucking chance.
Why not? The anxiety's too much. You're like, what the fuck are we gonna talk about?
No, what are you gonna do? Like, look, I told her, I don't even talk to the family members I know, and I don't even know you.
So you guys look alike?
So wait a minute. She said, "Can we meet up?" And you were like, "No."
No, she didn't say like, can we meet up? She's like, I'm really interested in like getting to know you. It'd be nice to meet up and blah blah. She lives in like just kind of maybe like an hour from Burlington near the gym. And she's like, I just like to talk, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not into it.
I should go, man.
Yeah, it's just opening up a can of worms, man. It's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like-
got to.
Like I didn't know you for the first 40.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be pretty intense. Like
Yeah.
that's a wild, like opening, like you said, opening up that box of worms. You're like, holy fuck.
What would you do, Seth? Would you go?
I don't know, man. That'd be some heavy shit.
Paul?
Be some heavy
I
shit.
don't know if I'm busy. I got a lot going on. I don't know.
That's what I said. I said I'm busy.
I'm busy, he says.
I have. I got a full-time
You'd
job.
go, I think, right?
Fuck, like the social circumstance on it gives me anxiety to think of it. Like, what are we gonna like? I don't want to, but I probably would. Yeah.
I don't think I would. Only because I'm like, man, I don't even fucking talk to the family I have as much as I should. Not that I have any problem with them. I love them all dearly, but I don't keep in contact enough with my own family. Let alone.
Yeah, it's super scary because you don't know that person. What if they're like you just don't know? Like
Right.
you don't know.
Yeah, the thing is too, it's like
you a little lost. Yeah, you know.
I
You
don't
think
know
it was
what I would do.
100%? Was that 100% legit, Mike? Like no doubt.
I didn't dig further to know, but the fact that she knew my father's name is like,
Yeah.
it's not like his name is like David, like it's a
Yeah.
specific name. So she's
Yeah.
like, I was like, fuck, and I can see my dad doing that. So, and I can also see a woman being pregnant by my dad and not wanting anything to do with him. So
Yeah, fuck.
it's just like, fuck this shit.
I
Not
don't know.
telling him.
I don't know what I would do. I don't know if the curiosity would get to me.
well,
Or
the
if I-
part of the curiosity is a little bit eliminated because it's not like she has a relationship with your dad, anyways.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be different if, like, you know, it's like if Mike didn't know and this, like, her, you know, the dad had like a whole separate family and raised his
Yeah.
daughter, then I'd be like, yo, I'm curious as fuck. I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
know about this. Like,
Yeah.
your interactions with my dad, but she's never even met him. So, like, they have no commonalities or connections in terms of the people they know or their life, you know?
Right,
Right,
right.
So that would lower the interest for me a little bit. Yeah.
I think it's so weird that all five of us are like, nah, probably skip it.
Yeah.
Dude, that is some
Maybe
heavy,
sometime.
heavy shit for her to reach
I
out.
thought for sure I would be the only one who's like, no, but you guys are all like the same as me. Like,
Well, I said I would go, but I'd be nervous about it for sure.
it would just be
Yeah.
coffee. It'd be quick.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Yeah, Tim Hortons too, not Starbucks, not high.
Yeah. Less inviting.
Lots of people around.
environment.
Ian, when do you get your license?
July 5th, 6th.
We should we got to plan a trip. I have a place I want to go.
Sure. Yeah, I'm
You
going to Florida for a couple of weeks in July, but I can do it anytime around then, like after or before.
For a couple weeks. For what?
I'm probably going out for like 10 days to 2 weeks.
For what? Do the raw stuff or train with somebody, or what are you doing?
Yeah, do some raw stuff, hang out with Chris for a bit, help him train him with prep for during prep a little bit, you know, stuff like that.
There's something you're hiding. I can tell.
No, I'm not 100%.
What do you
No,
hiding?
nothing at all.
I swear.
Everything's cool, man. Everything's
Your
cool.
answer is so
How about-
shit. You're for sure lying.
No, literally just going to go down, train with Chris for a bit while he's starting Olympia prep, do some stuff with Raw. I mean, there's like nothing particular. It was a self-planned trip. It wasn't like anything that was like organized by anybody other than myself.
I have a feeling there's other stuff going on, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna dig too deep into.
Like
it.
what? No, you can ask, you can dig because there's nothing to
There's
dig.
for
right?
sure some testing going on or something. Like I know it. I know it.
How was training with Hani? How did everything go?
Good. Yeah, it was good. It was good workouts. It was fun to train with. I'd never trained with him before, so training with
That's
him
what I
first
was
fun.
asking. Yeah.
Yeah, he beat us up pretty good. It was good.
Well, Seth is. You guys are both making a comeback, so I'm waiting for you guys to announce it.
Yeah,
You both better announce.
Yeah, Seth looking huge.
Ian's coming back. for
I know.
sure.
So I'm saying you're both coming back. I'm waiting for you guys to announce it.
I'm natty as fuck right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but once you have your kid, then you're gonna be like, all right, I'm back on the gas.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. It's almost certain, not maybe. Okay, I won't dig too deep. Anyways, I want to do the I want to do the Cabot Trail.
Oh yeah.
If we don't do the California Pacific Highway, I want to do the Cabot Trail out East Canada.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah, it's a 311 kilometer fucking strip of road that's all along the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, northern.
So I thought it'd be fucking a really sweet ride, and me and Ian are already here, so just Ben can come down and then we can fucking go.
Nova Scotia is nice too.
Are you still doing this, or are you over it already?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Obviously, I'm in. I'm gonna but fuck for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to book it for late July then if you're going to be in Florida. Seth,
Yeah, we could do it like July 20th or onwards, you know?
shaking his head before you, dude. You fucking like you shoot guns and shit. Like you're scared of motorcycles.
I'm a little bit of a dickhead. Okay.
What does that mean?
I just all of a sudden, like, I will think that I can ride a motorcycle. That's one of those things that,
Oh, it's like when you crashed your truck. Same
yeah,
thing.
dude, I don't belong on certain. I wish I would have done these things when I was younger because I'd be way more comfortable. I will, like, you know how whenever you were telling me about your ride and you were like, dude, on them corners, like they were digging in.
Yeah.
I will dig in thinking I know what I'm doing and fly off the fucking cliff.
But you know what? The beauty of a Harley is they're not that fast.
Dude,
Fast enough to kill you, but not super fast.
300 pounds, no big deal.
All right.
I would love to, but I just I'm comfortable.
I'm still trying to talk Paul into it, and Mike seems like he's coming around really slowly.
I'm enjoying the e-bike right now.
Paul keeps promising, and he's not. It's just
I'm enjoying the e-bike right now. I'm gonna get my beginner still, but
what the
I can see Paul driving a nice 3-wheeler,
Well, I told him I got the Spider for him. He can just ride it whenever he wants.
No, Paul's a 2 in the back, 1 in the front kind of guy.
That doesn't sound right.
Like the Harley 3-wheelers. Yeah.
The Harley trikes, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I would probably like that better.
Like a Goldwing trike,
Yeah.
Probably a more comfortable ride too. Kind of sit back more.
Fucking road glide.
All right, let's get into some questions here. What are three things you're grateful for? We'll start with Seth. That seems like a Seth question.
My family, obviously, number one. I don't know. I'm super grateful to be in the position I am in life. Like, to be able to do this cool stuff. Like, dude, a lot of people watch this podcast. To be able to shoot the shit with you guys, to be able to have the companies, do something that is extraordinary. Like, I can't wake up every morning and not be grateful for that.
You only get 3 things.
Yeah, family and that.
It's like the Oscar speech is cutting off there.
Start playing the music. Play the music.
Well, thanks for coming out tonight.
He's gonna drown out Seth.
Okay, well, we're all probably gonna say the same shit, so let's move on. Unless there's something different. Paul, do you have something different?
Well, I can give you like
give me 3. Give me 3. You just get 3.
Well, I can give you the
give me just the top 3.
Okay. My friends.
Friends came before your family. Wow.
Well, there's not in order of any specific order. There's not.
They're not order. Okay.
No, I'm just pointing things out.
Okay.
Family.
Well, the fact that you said friends first though is kind of telling.
Indicative. Yeah.
Well, but the wife doesn't see that. I'll hear about this after. Definitely gonna hear about this after, Fouad.
My wife, my kids, my friends.
Yeah, my wife, my kids, my friends.
And my job. And my
of all the second place, this is kind of, we'll just do it real quick.
God.
Of all the second place Mr. Olympia is never to win it, who would win?
We've talked about this before, have we?
We never really asked. Actually, we've never actually done that. If all the second place Olympias competed against each other,
okay, that's different. Kai.
Don't tell Ian that.
I can get on board with that.
If you say Kai or Kevin, Ian will get upset.
I know Kevin. I know Ian's got a thing for Kevin.
I should have a guy messaging me about this today.
What's going on? Let's hear it. I'm ready. I haven't heard this.
Oh, you haven't even know this, Seth?
No, let's not
Kevin,
start.
Kevin, Ian
like Jerry on Seinfeld with Newman. He's like,
Ian shit on Kevin Levrone for like a whole episode.
I didn't
like a year. It was like a year. It was like a year and a half ago, and it's like
it was longer than that. It was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. He was like, he's got no back. His fucking legs are shit. Like, I'm like, this guy's a fucking legend. I'm like, what the fuck?
Some guy was messaging me and he was talking about it today, and he was saying that he used to be Kevin's training partner, something like that. Blah blah. He was saying that
white guy with a hat. White guy with a hat.
I don't know. Yeah, he said that. I said that Kevin was an average Middle Eastern bodybuilder. No, I'm like, did I say that? Why would I say such a thing?
No. You said I think you might have
said he was overrated.
Overrated. That's what you said. I think I know the guy you're talking about. He actually was his training partner.
Yeah, the overrated is with context, though. Okay, I said he was overrated when people were making all the comparisons with him and Phil Heath. I still think he's a great bodybuilder. I just think when you're comparing him to Phil, it's a bit nuts.
I still don't think he's overrated, but I do think Phil is definitely better.
Yeah, so maybe overrated is the wrong word. I just think it's a crazy comparison. When
I think the comparison,
seven-time Mr. Olympia, arguably the second best in history. You know.
Yeah, but okay, but you can't play that card because I could easily just say Kevin is the second most winning bodybuilder of all time and has been second place at the Olympia 3 or 4 times.
Sure, and Phil's won 7 of them.
No, but I'm just saying, I also think the comparison that kept on being made was the one most muscular shot because Kevin and Phil both have similar structures in the shoulder.
I agree. I agree with. I understand the comparison because of the shoulder and tricep hang and all that kind of stuff, and that's why in the conversation I said that it was craziness because I think that's one shot. But if you turn them to and that's where I said the back stuff. Like if you turn them to the back, Phil would just mutilate him. You know.
Game over.
You're not helping yourself right now. You should just not. You should just.
It's the truth. So.
I'm sorry.
Love you, Kevin. Love you, Kevin.
Okay, so we're saying Kai of all the second place Mr. Olympias. I mean, what about Flex Wheeler? I mean, Flex is small. To Kai. But Flex is small compared to Kai. Nasser, but I mean, all these guys are going to pale in comparison size wise compared to Kai.
Yeah, good Kai's tough to beat. Yeah,
Nasser doesn't.
It is.
Yeah, he does. Nasser's not pale, but I think Nasser is going to be like a lankier version, whereas Kai is going to be fucking.
I mean,
from the back is definitely better too.
From the back for sure.
Kai's quads are going to be better than Nasser's. Kai's back is going to be better than Nasser's.
Yeah.
Kai's arms are going to be bigger than Nasser's. Kai's chest is probably going to be equal.
Yeah.
Like where does Nasser really have him beat other than maybe the abs, and then not the hamstrings either. I mean,
it's maybe front double bicep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could beat him on a couple shots, but I think Kai would still take it there. So yeah, a good Kai.
I think Kai consistently at second, like year after year as well. Like he
does
just
Victor does Victor give Kai a run?
07 Victor gives him a run, yeah.
Yeah, Victor at his best.
Who else is second? Branch.
Butler for a long time.
Yeah, but he ended up winning.
Yeah. Are we allowed to use him because he won? So I don't know.
How many times did he win?
01 Cutler. Does 01 Cutler, who is second place at the Olympia, does he beat Kai?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
That's tough, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jay won 4 times.
Yeah.
Because arguably Kai could have won 4 at least. You know, had it not been for one of the best ever
But that you could say the same thing for Jay though, because Jay was second.
Jay would have won 12.
Jay was
true. Yeah.
That's second.
You know, that's a stat that people always forget.
7.
Ever since Jay was the first or second bodybuilder in the world for a decade.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge fucking stat.
Yeah, that's a long run. Yeah. And against the best ever.
Yeah.
Wasn't like it was
the king of bodybuilding. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right. For yourself or your athletes, when do you take intra workout carbs out of the plan when prepping for a contest? I don't know what you guys think. Like, I don't think you have to take them out personally, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's just calories. You can take them in any place you want or feel is best. If you want to take 25 grams of carbs out from your rice, or you want to take it out from your intra workout, whatever makes you feel the best and train the best, take it wherever you like. There's no right answer.
Okay. Let me ask you this. I'll ask you a more pointed question. If you were on a low carb diet and you only had like 50 grams for the day, would you want some of them during, before, or after your workout?
Well, I probably wouldn't want them intra because you're probably going to be drinking them from a satiety. What's the word? How do you say it?
Satiety.
Satiety.
Satiety. It's not satiety. Don't listen to Paul.
Slim Shady.
Satiety.
From that standpoint, intra carbs are going to be the lowest.
Satiety.
So you'd want them in a food source. So I mean, yeah, you have them around training, but in your meals and not in an intra workout. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Favorite pose to do, even if it wasn't your best. Favorite pose to see other people do. That's a weird question.
I was side chest. I used to love my side chest
until you tore it.
Yeah.
Now it just looks like a breast.
Can you hit both sides?
Looks like a tit now. Looks like
you hit both sides.
Not as good. No.
Ian,
I think one of the
Sorry, go ahead,
greatest
Seth.
shots that somebody can hit. My two favorites, whenever they are hit perfectly and hit by somebody nailing them, side tricep, front lat. Two favorite poses. Like if
Okay.
you have a nasty side tricep, it's like ooh,
Yeah.
and like a crazy front lat, like it's a cool shot.
A
Only
good
two
front lat.
only
like
two
a-
good poses I had.
Would you guys?
Yeah,
Lat and
actually.
side try. That's all I was riding
Nailed
on
him.
my whole
Yeah,
career.
you did a great side try.
And my
Would you
quarter
guys-
turns. That's it. Yeah.
What would you guys say is the hardest pose to hit properly? Back lat spread.
Front lat spread.
For
That's-
me, it was
that's-
back.
I always see the front lat spread done wrong more than any other pose. Because either the
Yeah.
hands are set too low, the
I agree
shoulders
with
are
that.
too pinched together.
Yeah.
Hands are too high. Like
Or too elongated.
if you
whatever.
think about it, the other poses are kind of easier to get into. It's either the front or back lat spread are usually the two, because people don't know how to pop their lats out.
Yeah, or maybe
Rear
side
lat-
tricep.
Yeah, and the side try. Like that's whenever we were down there with talking to Tyler, he's like the side tricep. He's like that pose he's like everybody wants to have their own way of hitting it. He's like, we need to hit it this way, the same
Yeah.
standard way for the mandatories. And like,
Well, because everyone's trying to make themselves look the best in it possible. So they either go legs apart, legs together,
Yeah.
or the twisting one where you're kind of facing the judges. Like they all
There's
have
one where it's more of an ab pose than a tricep pose.
That's the
and
side one. That's the front one I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
and I'm
Yeah.
glad that Tyler did that last year because I
The
thought that we're
flexibility
getting away
one.
from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but dude, it's
Um,
hard because as you get bigger, if you don't have the mobility, you ain't
Yeah.
hitting the shot.
And it's hard to keep the
Thing is
stomach
front
control
lat.
in that pose. It's hard for guys to keep their stomach in.
You know what we were talking about earlier with the we were talking about earlier with the Olympia. We forgot to add Regan to the mix because this guy's
right.
this
Yeah.
guy's saying opinions on how Regan and Martin do in the Olympia this year. I'm like, I think
Regan's
Regan
not competing this year.
He's not.
Why?
He's gonna be a dad, isn't he?
take another year off.
He took the year off because girl's pregnant. I don't think he's competing this year.
Yeah, but he's not
Good
pregnant.
for him.
He's big as a,
He's
big as
so
a
old school,
fucking-
Fouad.
he's
It's
They're
so
big
old
as
school.
a
pregnant,
fucking
Fouad.
house.
Wait,
Nowadays,
they're
it's different, Fouad.
somebody explain this to me. He's not
It's
pregnant.
different nowadays.
Why? He's
They
got
say
to.
they say they're
gotta
pregnant.
support
We're pregnant. You know,
Yeah, but he's not pregnant. She's pregnant.
You got to
we're
support
pregnant.
No.
He could be pregnant if he wanted to be.
We're
That's right.
pregnant.
That's right, Mike. Good point. Good point.
I don't know if that's why he decided not to. I think he just realized that he hadn't grown as much as he needed to be to actually make a more of an impact than he'd already made. So I think that plus having a kid,
Can
to
you-
my knowledge.
Can you
Regan's
imagine?
young.
Can you imagine? My dad was a welder. He had 5 kids. Can you imagine if every time my mom was pregnant, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to work for 9 months. We're pregnant." Fuck you, asshole. Go to work.
Regan's
I think-
big as fuck right now, though. I saw.
Yeah,
I know. That's why I want to see him compete. He looks like a freak.
Yeah, I
Regan's
think
young
he's
though.
not competing to grow, to take the time to grow. Yeah.
How
Well,
Yeah,
old
lots of time.
Go ahead. Who's going to say what? Seth, go ahead. Were you
how
gonna
old
say
is he? Is he in his early 30s?
He's
don't
like
know.
30,
Same age.
31.
something?
Same age as Chris, isn't he?
He's 1 or 2 years older than Chris. Chris turns 30 in next year. He's born 95, so in 2025 he turns 30.
All I'm going to say is this: if he takes another year off and he makes the same amount of gains he made the last time he took a year off, I'm all for it because I want to see. Because I think Regan has the potential to be a tier 1 guy, which is top 6.
Oh, yeah.
Having a kid's stressful too.
But no, I do. I think he has the potential to be that guy. It'd be really cool to see him like put on the size. Like I feel like Regan and Quint are kind of the same discussion. They're like I'm not saying they have the same potential. I think Quint's freakier, but like they're both in that same conversation where everyone's like waiting for them to just like put it all together.
Yeah.
So okay, well he's out this year. So Martin, we all kind of agree Martin's top like 7 to 10 somewhere in there.
Mhm.
I think we all agree on that.
I think he's the one guy that can creep up if someone's off.
Do you think Martin can beat Andrew or Hunter or Brandon if Brandon's like not the same Brandon?
We forgot about Brandon.
What about Rami too? We haven't talked about Rami.
Yeah, I don't know if is Rami done though or what. You know,
I don't think Rami's done. I think he's going to
No?
show up and shock the fuck out of people. But that's just my bias towards because I like Rami.
Is
What?
Arab?
No,
I'm
not
say
Steve Arab.
Yeah.
Because then I'd be saying the same thing about BEHROOZ, you fucks. Well, BEHROOZ is Persian though. Maybe that's why I'm not like.
Battles.
No, but I'm serious. I'm hoping Rami got some of his issues fixed and he comes back big as fuck and shocks the fuck out of everybody.
And dude, the top 10 are legit. Top 10 are legit.
Ian, what do you think? I know you're hard on Rami. What do you think? Is he going to shock everybody?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I don't know what he looks like. I really have no idea what is going to happen, if he's even going to compete. Like, is he just going to show back up at the Olympia after not competing? He didn't go to the Pittsburgh guest posing this year. He got to cancel last
He's
minute.
allowed to. He's allowed to.
He's
allowed
right?
to,
Yeah.
but it's also like, is that a tan line on your wrist?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Gloves.
Motorcycle gloves. Yeah, motorcycle gloves. Look,
That's crazy.
Check it out. Look how white that is. Look at that.
Make sure you flex the arm a little bit.
Yeah, why are you
I'm
flexing it like that?
I'm not flexing. This is just how it looks.
What happened to your triceps?
I told Paul today, you know what? My triceps are like, they go from here like to here.
Mine too.
And then the rest of my arm is just tendon.
All of my muscles have pulled up considerably. Everything's up higher now.
Don't worry, Ian. It's going to happen to you too. We'll see.
Bro, it's already happening. Why do you think I'm not competing?
My fucking tricep is like this fucking long now. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyways,
You know what? I actually went and got a nerve conduction study and a EMG done last week on my calves.
Oh,
and they found no nerve issues of any kind in them.
Like they're doing shit.
And I looked at the guy, I'm like, you realize that's the stupidest fucking thing.
Check again, man. Check again.
I was like, that's literally impossible. Like, it's literally impossible.
They're like, look how good they used to be. There has to be something wrong. Like,
I showed him pictures. I did that.
Yeah, did you hear that, Paul?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't. I had to
Ian's got zero nerve issues. Those calves, they're just shit for no reason.
But you had the same problem as me, right? Like, used to have good the inner, what's I don't know, what the long head, the inner part,
the soleus,
or the short head. Sorry, but and it kind of just whatever
just disappeared. Yeah,
that's what happened to me too.
I went and they did a nerve conduction where they like send the impulses through and stuff, and they said it all came back fine. Like they said, there was no issues. So either they just didn't know how to test exactly what is wrong with my calf specifically, and they're just testing something that's not the right route of transmission.
Yeah, blame it on them. Blame it on them.
Yeah.
Or it's not a nerve issue, you know?
Yeah. Do you think it's like fascia so tight in there? Anything like that? No.
You know what? The thing Ian told me that made the most sense, and I don't know, Ian, if you wore knee wraps, but I remember you telling me about Matt.
Well, Jansen's the one that first suggested this to me and said that when he had talked to someone and they thought that it could be caused from using knee wraps or knee sleeves when you're doing a lot of heavy squatting and like under the pressure where it's jamming the knee sleeve into the back of your knee where that tendon bed is, where that nerve bed is, sorry. And over time it can kind of crunch down and cause some damage into that nerve, you know?
Doesn't explain mine.
See, I thought it made sense because I used to wear my knee wraps really, really fucking tight.
Yeah, you did.
And I was like, that could kind of make sense to like fuck with the nerves.
I
on
never
the backside.
I never wore knee wraps.
You didn't wear knee
wraps.
But
But I've been wearing steel toe boots for 30 years though.
Oh my God, you just reminded me about the carpet.
Yeah.
This motherfucker, Mike, starts telling me a story. So he's like, I think we're gonna train legs or something after Toronto.
Can I say something first?
No. So he's
I
like,
want to hear the story first.
So he's telling me, he goes, I got this swelling around my knee. I'm like, oh yeah, like what happened? He's like, I don't know, it's just like it hurts and there's like water all around it. I go, what happened? He goes, I was sitting in the car. I drove to Toronto. I was sitting in the car for a long time. And then I was at Toronto sitting in the chair, like at the judge's table for a long time. And then I'm walking around on the carpet. And then, later. And so I'm like, I stop him like after his story. I'm like,
carpet.
I'm like, what does the carpet have to do with any of this? He's like, I don't know. He's like, the carpet, just the way I'm walking on. I'm like, first it's a tile, now it's the fucking carpet.
Too much give. There was just too much give. I think it just
what is the optimal surface?
I don't know. I said that to him. I'm like, what is it? Wood? Like you gotta walk on wood?
Rubber
flooring.
Right. I've come to conclude that I need only rubber floors now.
Just the way he's
rubber flooring all over your house.
So let me tell you the real true story behind this. So, we had our show last weekend. Ian, you judged it there a couple weeks ago, the Fouad show in Oakville. So got home on Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, busy doing stuff, catching up on things. Monday morning, Fouad calls me at like 8 a.m. He's like, hey, you got to train with Samson today. He needs a partner for legs. So you got to be in the gym in an hour. I'm like, I haven't drank more than a liter of water in the last 2 days. I'm old. I haven't eaten a decent meal in 2 days. And now I got to go train with Samson. So and Samson does all giant sets. So I ended up like my knee was bothering me a little bit after the workout. And then yeah, I don't know. I drove to Toronto.
None of what you're saying explains why the carpet was plugged into the story.
So but as soon as I stepped on that carpet, I felt something. I felt like a little. I did. I felt like a little like something gave. And the rest of the weekend, I had a swollen knee. Had to ice it.
Seth, you weren't privy to the tile conversation, were you?
I don't know.
This motherfucker has fucked up feet. I don't know what his bunions or whatever. And we went through 3 episodes of him telling us that it was because of the tile that his wife put in the kitchen.
I don't know why you don't know that.
Everybody
looked it up. That's an actual thing.
So everybody started calling him tile foot. So he thought he fixed it by wearing Crocs around the house.
Yeah.
So the reason this is even funnier is because now he goes from tile, and now he's blaming the carpet. We can't figure out what the fuck this guy wants to walk on.
When you guys are 50 years old, you'll understand what it's like. Your feet.
I won't.
You gotta be nice to them.
I won't blame the carpet.
My dad's got tile and carpet in his whole house. He's doing all right. He's 80 years old.
Maybe he's used to it. Maybe his feet have just become accustomed to it. My wife changed the floors. Ever since then, I've having foot problems.
Well, that's why you got to walk on it and just let them adapt. You know.
But they didn't. It took they changed it like 3 years ago, and there's no adaptation at all. It only gets reoccurring injury. So
what type of flooring was down before the tile?
It wasn't tile. It was
laminate.
Some type of a composite.
Linoleum.
It wasn't like linoleum like that sheet stuff. It was more like a composite type.
It was laminate
material. Might have been laminate. I don't know what the hell it was. But anyways, now it's like this cold, white, hard tile that
his wife came to our house, and we have
it's Fouad's fault.
fault. His wife came over to our house, saw our tile, and they got the same tile.
Got the exact same tile.
So now, yeah, she liked it. So they went and got the same tile. So now,
I didn't approve of it. She went and did it when I was at work.
And now Paul's fucked. Anyways, okay. Fuck, marry, kill. Tom Cruise, Denzel Washington, Brad Pitt. I'm marrying Denzel Washington.
Say them again. Denzel, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go first.
We already know.
We already know, dude.
You're gonna kill Tom Cruise.
I'm gonna fuck Tom Cruise.
Oh, wow.
He wants to assert his
little rape.
That's right. Yeah,
little dominance.
I thought you were gonna kill Tom Cruise.
I want him to live with that in his head forever.
Oh God.
That Paul fucked him in the ass.
That's right. Yeah, live with that, Tom. See you make a movie after that.
All right. So then, what are you doing with the other 2?
Denzel, I'm definitely marrying.
Are you gonna kill Brad Pitt?
Man, I love Brad Pitt too.
Dear God,
the tougher fucking decision. Brad Pitt's fucking man. Yeah, I'll have to kill Brad Pitt. Denzel's my man.
Well, for sure, Ian's gonna marry Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fucking Brad Pitt all day. Brad Pitt from Troy, though, only.
The long hair.
Or maybe from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That's pretty good too.
Solid. Did you say me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm probably gonna marry Denzel. I'm gonna kill Tom Cruise and fuck Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat. Mike? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, okay.
I just want to.
I'm not repeating that. It's Pride Month. It's okay. We're allowed to say these things.
I honestly think I'd like to marry Tom Cruise if I'm going to pick one. I feel like that would be a exciting life. You know.
You know the stat I saw the other day? Every woman that he's been with that he left at 33 years old.
Once they hit 33, he leaves them?
Huh?
Like they're too old after 33, he gets rid of them?
All of them he got divorced from at 33. There was 3. There was Nicole Kidman, the other one, and then there's Kate, whatever, Winslet? No, not Winslet. Who the fuck is the third one he married? The brown-haired chick. Anyway, they were all 33 when he divorced them.
No way.
That's a weird
guy.
It's a weird stat, right?
Maybe he's got a thing in the 3s.
Maybe he just doesn't want them too old. He's like, fuck it, you're out.
Yeah. How old's he? He's like gonna be like close to 60, isn't he?
I think he is.
This guy looks like he's fucking 40.
Yeah.
It's Scientology. It's real.
Plastic surgery. It's real. Money.
Botox.
GH.
Yeah.
What are 3 things? No. We did these already. Why? I want to see Paul play charades. Why are these just repeating? Why does Instagram do that?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people messaging me wants to play games again. Yeah.
What's GeoGuessr? Have you heard that?
Yeah, we played it on here once.
We did. Oh, we did. I think.
Yeah, I told you guys about it, and we played it on here once.
That was a
Imposter?
geography trivia.
No, GeoGuessr is where like it shows you like a picture of a place, and you have to try and guess where it is on a global map. You know?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay, Paul.
Pull it up though. That's fun.
I'm gonna. Okay, Paul. Where is this? You got 2 minutes.
I'm gonna say that's Salt Lake City,
Look at-
Utah.
Look at the writing on it. It's French.
No, it's Europe. It's in Europe. Yeah.
European.
Oh, can you blow that up, Fouad?
Can I blow it up?
Yes.
No. Wait. I can do this.
Centre d'Affaires Europe.
Oh, it's French.
It could be Quebec.
European
It could be
I'm gonna
Parliament.
say France. I'm gonna say
But yeah,
France.
European.
Parliament.
So it's France. Yeah.
Yeah.
But where in France? You got to go in there and find it. You know?
Which city?
Yeah, like where in France you think that is?
How the fuck would you know that?
Yeah, how would you know that? Is it a
Oh.
government building?
Is this where?
That's how far you were. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got your guess was 571
That's not bad.
kilometers. No, it's not bad. Okay. Start next round.
Solid choice.
How many years is between? This is stupid. Get out of here. Start next round.
I'm gonna say 5.
What is this
Yeah,
shit?
is-
I don't know what this shit is. Get out of here.
Let's play this.
Okay.
No, we don't want to challenge friends.
Get out of here.
What do you do? Go to the top. Click the arrow back.
Got a virus.
Single player there.
Okay, new trip. No, I don't want to upgrade. No, I don't want to show. Get out of here.
No, go back.
Why?
Just
Go to
click
single player game.
Oh,
Click single player.
New trip.
No,
Stop
no,
it.
that's what. Oh, yeah, you
yeah.
can't. Okay, you need to pay.
See, fuck you guys. I don't know, retarded.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's go back. Would you rather only eat fruit that's moldy or drink moderately expired milk?
Slightly moldy?
Milk.
Slightly moldy fruit or moderately expired milk?
can you pick the moldy parts off?
No.
You gotta eat it whole.
Oh,
Yeah, because if you could cut the mold off, you're fine.
I gotta go with the fruit. I'm lactose intolerance.
Well,
I drink the milk, I'd be farting all day, just
Yep.
dripping ass everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with,
Putrid
with
farts.
fruit.
Yeah.
I'm in the fruit.
Is bodybuilding cheaper when you're in your prime or now? Well, now it's, I don't buy any drugs now, so it's cheap as fuck.
Yeah, it's fucking cheap as hell there.
If you guys had to start a company right now that's completely out of the fitness world, what would it be?
See what, sorry?
If you had to start a company right now that had nothing to do with the fitness world, what would it be?
Marijuana dispensary.
Car detail shop or customization?
Yeah,
I would do car or motorcycle customization. That's what I would do.
that'd be cool.
I do a car wash, like a really good car wash. They're
Like
money
you,
makers,
yeah, you
man.
would. You're a
Yeah,
freak
Mike
about-
washes his car every day.
Yeah, you do
Mike's
wash your
like-
truck a lot.
Yeah, that makes
They're
total
money
sense.
makers, those places, man.
I know they are.
Yeah.
The one in Burlington's really good. It's like a fucking like a mile long or some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Or not
We
a mile
have one of
long,
those
but
here,
it's- yeah. Seth, you didn't answer.
I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably go into something just that would be so manual labor intensive and make
You
no
already
money.
have businesses that aren't in the fitness world though. Like I don't know if gymnastics counts. Does that count? I mean, you own a gymnastics facility.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there you go. We'll say that. Like that's not.
You already do.
Yeah, fitness. I love the fitness community, so I'd probably open a. I mean, I want to open up a community center,
Okay.
like for kids and shit like that.
Paul,
Events.
Paul, you want to own a dispensary?
Or a grow. Like a farm. I'm not gonna do the work though.
Ian, you didn't say anything.
Fuck, I don't know. But well, I can't even think of something outside of that.
Seriously? You don't have any passions? You feel bad about yourself right now?
No, I just it's hard to think of anything outside of like everything I go is like something. It's like in some way in the fitness world, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and nothing that I would really like. If I had to pick something, it's like sure, but it's not really something I would want to do, you know.
What is something that you're passionate about that doesn't involve fitness? Is there anything?
Not really, no.
Just become the ultimate sneaker reseller. Just
Yeah.
massive sneaker collection.
I mean, I could do something like that, I guess.
Be a
It's like,
landlord,
I
buy some
guess.
properties,
I guess.
be a slumlord.
Yeah, do real
Slumlord.
estate. I'll do real estate. I'll do real estate or something. Yeah, sell drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coke dealer.
Yeah, be a coke dealer. Yeah,
A nice Coke dealer. Be like, hey, you want some Coke? We're good.
First bag's on me.
Not sure if you guys want to get into this, but if you do, what do you guys think of Bonac saying he's natural? When did he say that?
Oh, I just saw that.
Someone, a guy asked him was bothering him with his cycle. He's like, I just don't want to talk. Like, don't talk to me about questions like that. And he just like asked him to go away. Like, he's, are you natural or not? And he's like, just go away, dude. Like,
So he didn't say he was natural.
Yeah, he did.
he's
I mean,
like,
said
I only
it-
take
but
these.
Get him
I
to go
only
away.
take these supplements right here. And he points at the supplement booth he's standing in. He's like,
So it was just being like he was irritated
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
question.
just trying to get the guy to go away.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
People are blowing it way out of more proportion than it is.
Sounds like it. What the fuck? That doesn't even sound like a big deal. I say this
We-
stuff all the time.
We talk about it, Fouad. There's not much to talk about in bodybuilding, I guess, because people make stories
Yeah.
out of nothing.
yeah,
That's
there's
all
a-
that happened for real?
yeah, literally.
So he just said, I don't take gear because he was like annoyed and people ran with it?
No, he's like, the only supplements I take are these supplements here. And he points to like the fucking booth he's in. And the guy's like,
Yeah.
I don't want, and he's like, well, what's cycle? He's like, I don't want to talk about these kind of things, man. And he's just like, thanks, go away. He's like, okay. It's like,
And so people are making videos about that.
yeah, because there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah,
That's so crazy to me.
yeah.
And this guy's asking the question, what do you think about Bonac saying he's natural? Well, he's natural then. I don't care. What is he? What the fuck? People care.
But I mean, you know,
It's such a
why it is.
stupid
It's
fucking.
like, how
it's such a-
naive are you and stupid are you to ask
That's
that
what I was gonna
fucking
say. How?
question? Like,
What a stupid
Unless-
fucking thing to even think. Like obviously he's not. He doesn't mean it. He just wants you to leave him the fuck alone.
Unless is he asking like, do we feel like Bonac should have answered it honestly, or like, is that what he's asking? Maybe I don't know.
Well,
who fucking cares? You
Yeah,
know?
right. Yeah. I don't know.
Why?
Yeah, I
listen,
literally could not give
okay,
a
I'm
fuck.
just gonna say that just to stop picking at people. Let's just say this. It literally means zero what Bonac is taking. Because not only do steroids react differently in each person's body. So I could be taking 1 shot a week and my natural test levels could be 3,000. And you might have to take 3 shots a week to achieve the same level. So that,
yeah.
first of all, that doesn't matter. Second of all, the genetics are completely fucking wildly different between Bonac and some regular fucking dude. Like whatever Nasser took or whatever story you see online about fucking whoever your favorite pro took means absolutely zero for the average gym goer.
And the thing is too, like even within the top 10 at the Olympia, you could have the biggest variance from guys
Yeah.
that could be placing first or second,
Right.
taking nothing, to
Right.
guys that are placing fourth, taking everything, to guys that are placing
Right.
sixth, taking nothing, to first. If you know, like
Right.
the variance is so big. Like it's not like everyone's kind of taking this. Like there could be such a massive variance, and like who fucking cares? You know?
I always thought that was really funny too, Ian, because like I think people think that IFBB pros are like a homogenous group. And like
Yeah.
if that story that Nasser was taking 4,000 milligrams of gear a week,
Then they all do.
that means every pro out there must be doing that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't think people understand. Like someone like Samson doesn't have to take the same thing I took. Like
Yeah.
there are genetic variances and fucking hyper responders, and like there's so many different fucking
Yeah.
People
And
seem to want to think that there's some magic secret that pros have.
No, look, I'm not sitting here saying steroids don't matter. Steroids matter. They're a huge part of pro bodybuilding.
Don't take what someone else says and use it.
All I'm saying is whatever Seth is taking doesn't matter for Ian. Whatever Ian is taking doesn't matter for you, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just a little silly. Anyway, if you have an early workout, do you bang pre-workout on an empty stomach or get up earlier to eat?
Eat. Who trains on an empty stomach? That's crazy.
yeah, that's a ballsy move.
I've been training on empty stomach for like a year.
I used to do that too when I was bodyguarding.
I think that if you're trying to make gains or
No, not if I was
The
trying
worst
to gain
idea
muscle.
ever.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta eat, dude. You
Yeah.
have to.
But I did used to know, you know what's funny? Ben and James used to say that if you were going to get up at like 5 a.m. to work out, it'd be okay to have a massive, not a massive meal, but a large meal before you went to bed.
Oh yeah.
And then just have a small shake before you
I
go
think
train.
that's still too much time. I think it's not.
I don't.
that hard.
That's not what I did, but I'm just saying that's how they.
I think it's not that hard to even just have some kind of calories before you train, even if it's liquid. Just having a shake with protein and carbs in it, or a fucking piece, a couple scoops of protein, a banana or something like in the morning before you go to the gym takes almost no effort, and it's just breaking the fast like that before you train. Just do it. It's not hard.
I agree. What do you think about guys that want to train on empty stomach, but they take some EAAs? Is that enough or no?
Or some carbs with it, an intro or something.
No. Let's just say somebody took EAAs and that's all they took.
I think if your goal is hypertrophy and gaining muscle and weight, I think it's absolutely not ideal. No.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Okay. I agree with that. Extreme. No. What 3 words would you use to describe yourself? Seth.
Depends on which day you're talking to me.
Yeah, I know, right?
The one universal word is just intense. Whatever it is I'm doing, I'm going to be intense.
Mike?
3 words?
3 words.
Blunt. Happy, even though people that don't know me don't think I'm happy. And content.
Happy and content are kind of the same, no?
No.
Okay. Paul, go ahead. Paul, you? Hi.
I'll go with that. Yeah, for sure. Hi. Happy.
Those kind of go together.
420 blazing, bro.
Somewhat simple, and not in a dumb way.
Simple Jack.
In a way, yeah. in a way that doesn't take much to make me happy.
Yeah, I agree with that. Ian?
Excitable. Try to think of words that nobody else has used already.
It's okay.
That's a good one. Give me one.
Intelligent.
Analytical.
Intellectual.
Great hair.
Lego.
Yeah, that's
Chris's brother-in-law.
Chris's brother-in-law.
So stands for like Chris's brother-in-law.
Why? This is actually a good question. Why is it so hard to peak properly even after years of competing? I see this all the time. Ex-pro will be on stage, they'll miss the peak, and inevitably I'll see somebody in the comment section going, "Why can't they just get it together, man?" And then like, does anybody have an answer for why even after years someone might not be able to peak properly? Seth?
You're always evolving as a person. You're not the same person you were.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to say.
No, go ahead.
No, that's all I had to say.
Go, Seth.
I was going to say the same thing. The evolution and continuing to go through it all. Like, and there might be times whenever they're trying something new just to try, like even though they nailed it or they were trying to get that 1% better. Because if someone hits like their peak at like 95, 97%, like, dude, you can't ask for much more than that. But again, obviously with our personalities, we're going to be like, might as well try it. Let's fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
So I think that like, but the evolution of the physique, like, dude, if you take a year off, you are not the same as you were. Your body's going to mature. And as we watch all these younger guys, mature over the years, they're not the same. Like, it's going to change. Might not take as much, might take more, for food wise or sodium or anything.
Ian, do you have a thought on it?
Sorry, what was the question? Why people miss their peaks even though if they've got it nailed before?
No, yeah, like if somebody's a veteran of the sport, why would he still be missing his peak?
Yeah, I mean, I think the other said, like, I think physiques change even though they're the same. Like no two preps are the same, even if it's the same body. Like even if you're the same weight and everything, your body can respond differently. I've tried to do the exact same thing 2 shows that were like within the same year, and the look it rendered like in the process still had to be altered in some regard. And then I also agree with Seth in that sometimes you try and do you need to push the limits and push the edge and test what the edge is, and see what, like, it's easy. You could just find a safe spot that's not 1,000% and kind of ride that line forever. But I think a lot of guys want to like always try and push the boundaries of like how good they can be. And I think when you're pushing the boundaries, especially when you start to introduce diuretics, you're doing water manipulation and sodium manipulation and different carb up processes. I think it's very easy when you introduce more factors to mess up, So I think it's just guys, trying new things, and no two preps are the same.
I think I agree with you guys, because nobody wants to see the same look every show. Like everybody wants everyone to improve. Like if Nick Walker was the same Nick Walker from the first New York Pro he won, people would be over it by now. They're like, no, you have to get bigger, you have to get sharper, you have to get this, you have to get that. It's like Samson. Samson's still the same Samson that he was 2 years ago. I mean, he's bigger. But people are like, no, you have to be more conditioned. You have to be this. So like Seth and Ian said, you're always trying newer things to like excel either in size or conditioning or whatever. But I also think one of the things that we haven't discussed is the mental side of it. Your mental side can be different from show to show, depending on what you got going on at home. Maybe
that's what I meant by no two preps are the same kind of too.
Maybe you have a contract negotiation coming up. Maybe you're having problems with your wife. Maybe you're having problems with money. Maybe you're having problems with like a whole host of fucking things that could be going wrong. Maybe you and your training partner are fighting. Maybe you like, there could be a million fucking things going on that you have no idea what is affecting your prep.
You could have tile foot.
Yeah, you might have walked on a carpet. You might have walked on a carpet.
Hey, yeah, don't downplay it. It could definitely impact your prep.
You could have got a new carpet installed in your house.
Your wife could have went and changed your kitchen floors without you knowing about it while you're at work one day.
What's the largest amount of shrooms you've consumed in one sitting?
Oh, Fouad, you got the record there probably.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, all of them, the bag.
I don't know what those bars are, but I fucking me and Ian went hard one night. We just weighed everything out exactly to the gram.
Yeah.
And we're like, you take that half, I'll take this half. And then we just sat there in silence for like an hour watching the worst movie known to man. And then we passed out.
What are we watching again?
I don't know, dude. That movie was so bad. I can't remember what the fuck it was. We found something on Netflix. We're like, let's watch this. And it was, I know it's because I don't think it was because I was high. It was literally the slowest movie I've ever watched in my life. And I'm kept waiting. I'm like, I know it's going to get better. And it just, eventually we just gave up. Is reading gay? That's all it says. What would you rather? Would you rather Fouad's head or Paul's tile foot for a week? What's wrong with my head? Something wrong.
Like get head from you or your head?
No, he's saying is something wrong with my head that I don't know about?
Give me the tile foot immediately.
You don't want it, Mike. You do not want it. Believe me. It's like you're walking on a pebble all day long.
All right, we'll do a couple more, then we'll go.
Hey, real quick, I got to ask this. Just we're on here. It happens. It's a little down of a subject, but the fella out in California, Doug.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't even talk about that, Doug Frushi.
No, but I didn't hear or find out what exactly happened. Does anybody know what happened?
I didn't either.
To my knowledge, from what I saw, that he took his own life, but I could be wrong on that. Yeah.
Fuck.
Unless it was something I wasn't aware, but that seemed to be when I was reading it on social media, seemed to kind of be the vibe I was getting from people that did know him personally,
This is Douglas Frushi. May you rest in peace. Passed away, 3 days ago now? Maybe 2?
Yeah, something I read. I mean, I've seen his stuff, and I watched that. I can't remember the one podcast he did, or it was like this famous thing on YouTube. And seemed like a great dude. And a lot of people were saying a lot of really nice things, but I just didn't know what had happened.
Yeah.
But if that's what happened, that's just ungodly.
It's funny because, well, it's not funny. Sorry. It's weird because people are like, well, it's not because of steroids, so you can't blame bodybuilding if Ian's right. But I don't know, is it? Because we all know that like steroids do fuck with your head too. So is it?
Well,
steroid related? Is it bodybuilding related? Like, you know, can you say that? Because if we're not taking hormone, like, look, I'll tell you this. This might be, like I said, this is all hinging on if Ian was right, because I don't know if that's the real reason.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's just what I seem to gather. Yeah.
I will say this. So I've talked to a couple people recently that have messaged me about anxiety. Oh, I have really bad anxiety. Oh, I can't talk to anybody. I have trouble leaving the house, blah, blah, blah. But they want to be bodybuilders. And I'm like, you're in for a long fucking haul, man. Because my anxiety was bad, but it wasn't that bad where I couldn't leave the house. But it's funny that when I stopped doing steroids, my anxiety is almost gone. Like, I don't even recognize it anymore. So I'm like, is this kind of along the same lines? Like, does that
probably
depression,
amplifies.
right? If you're depressed, like, is that an amplification? Right. Is that, and again, I'm only saying these things based on what we think was the cause, but
yeah,
I don't know. Seth, do you have any input on that?
My thing was, if that's the case, which I didn't know, I kind of got an inkling of that, and that's why I was asking. But like, we all know that the one thing, they do change you. You do change as a human being.
Right.
And we do have some really high highs and some really low lows.
Right.
And when you're in a really low, like that, you feel more alone than you ever felt, even though you could have great people around you. And that's the one thing, like you just said, like, people getting into this, it's not just like physical, even though like they do play a role and they are going to fuck you up, but the mental side of it is going to play a big role. Yeah. And I don't know, man. I didn't know. And I didn't know if you guys had any more of an input or heard something behind the scenes or anything like it.
I didn't really know him. I only spoke to him one time, like DM.
The article here says Doug Feroce was found in his apartment June 14, 2024. His death comes as quite a shock to many, especially given the circumstances surrounding his disappearance before he was found. Brad Rowe, a fellow bodybuilder and close friend, shared his sorrow, acknowledging that Feroce had been struggling with personal issues. Rowe stated that he knew Feroce was battling demons, highlighting the challenges Feroce faced despite his external success, and putting an emphasis on men's mental health. So that's what led me to think it.
You know, the other thing that's interesting about this is when someone says like, oh, they were depressed, and the line is always, you got to talk to somebody, you got to reach out. But it's like, when you're in that zone of like depression, or sometimes even when you reach out to somebody, it does nothing.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel like anybody's going to understand. So I'm not saying you shouldn't talk to somebody. I'm not saying you shouldn't tell someone. I'm just saying, at the same time, I also have been in a position where I'm like, I don't really want to talk to anybody because I don't feel like it's going to help or whatever. So I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess ultimately my whole point is, if you're going to fucking do steroids, understand that there's going to be a mental aspect to it as well. And you have to recognize that ahead of time. And I'm sorry to Doug's family and friends, I guess.
Well, certain steroids will be tougher mentally than others, will they not? Like Tren, for example.
I'm not a pharmacologist. I know when I took DECA, my anxiety was 10 times worse.
I used to find it with Tren.
So I know like everybody reacts to things differently. For me, it was always DECA. I could feel my anxiety like within like a couple of weeks of starting. But I'm like, yeah. I can't be on this drug.
Yeah, but in the same regard, like we don't know if that guy, it doesn't seem like he was blasting anything at that given point.
I'm not trying to like start anything.
No.
I'm just trying to use it as a learning experience, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. And I think that, I mean, if like the personal things he could have been battling, like it could be, you know, like he could have just found himself in a super low spot and then felt like the world was caving in.
No, but Seth, I think what I'm talking about, and like you said, we don't know if he was on or off or whatever. Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you're in a tough spot that has nothing to do with bodybuilding, but your hormones are all fucking out of whack, it's harder to get yourself out of that spot.
Sure. I understand.
That's kind of where I'm trying to go with it. So all I'm saying is, like, I'm not saying don't do steroids or don't bodybuild or whatever. All I'm saying is, like, you have to recognize that might be one of the things that you encounter.
Be mindful.
Yeah, be mindful of it, like, ahead of time, I guess.
And I guess then I'll ask this, because you guys are all pretty close knit, and it's nice to be able to kind of join in this group here and build this friendship on my end. But like whenever you're in a bad spot and you say, like, I don't really want to talk to anybody, like, would you guys feel comfortable reaching out to one another to be like, hey, dude, I need a hand right now?
I've reached out to Ian.
I've reached out to Fouad multiple times for sure. Yeah.
And sometimes I'll message all three of them because we have like a group chat. Sometimes I'll message all three of them. I'll go, hey man, I miss you guys. I'm like, we need to hang out.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's my way of being like, I need a, like a boys weekend, or like I need to get together. Like I need to be around my friends. But I've had heart to hearts with Mike about health. I've had heart to hearts with Ian about like mental issues. Me and Paul have talked. I mean, Paul's my best friend for 25 years. So Paul's been there listening to me fucking whine about my life for 20 years.
I'm not great at reaching out when I need to do that kind of stuff, but usually but Fouad is my go-to when I do need to let something out. So then I see him almost every day, so I always have that opportunity too.
He whines to me every day about certain things I can't talk about on there.
Well, I was telling Fouad the other day that like I'm having a hard time recently with work because I'm close to retirement, but not close enough yet. And the place has changed since I got hired. I've been there for 23 years now. I don't love being there anymore. And I told Fouad, like, there's some days where I'm there and I'm fucking miserable and I cannot shake it off. And
Fake injury.
An injury.
Workers' comp, man.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
Slip and fall.
I got to find a way to mentally get through some of my days better.
Seth, do you have somebody like I know you and Bob work closely together.
Yeah.
I know that he's a friend of the family. Like, do you have other people, or is it just you and Bob? Or
No, it's typically me and Bob, and then my brother and I are close.
Okay.
My brother and I are super close. But I was just like, I find that, if we're going to see these things happen in our industry, I wanted to ask because, hearing about, other stand-up guys actually reaching out and talking with one another and making sure there's that openness because, we all pretty hard dudes and done some really great things, but that doesn't mean we're impervious to feelings and down days. Because I think that sometimes people get, whenever they're in like a really fucked up spot mentally, like if you're in the spot where you're like, hey dude, I don't think I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think I'm starting to get a little fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like those are those times that, I mean, I've been in them where I'm like, dude, I got to get the fuck out of my, what am I doing? Yeah. And like, if I can't shake it off with like a workout, if I can't shake it off with like just being around my kids, if I'm like, ooh, I need something else. I'll text my brother. I'll just text Bob or I'll see Bob and I'll be like, hey, like, and he'll notice that I'm hanging around him a little more often than I normally do. And he's like, he'll know, like, and it's I even have a hard time if I'm in a spot speaking up about it. But I think that it needs to be something that's talked about a little more.
It's important to have people like that in your life, though. I think, me and Phil, we talk about that sometimes. Like, it's important to have those people in your life because I couldn't imagine going through life and not having someone I can go to talk to about stuff.
Yeah. How often, though, do you guys have a fucking? This is very often for me. There are days where I'm like here, and then I have a workout, and then I'm here.
Yeah.
It's like somehow just going to the gym like clears my mind and like makes everything okay.
Especially a hard workout.
Yeah, usually that's the case.
Yeah.
But I find that happens to me quite a bit. Like if I'm not feeling like 100%, usually after my workout, I'm like doing a little better.
Well, that's what I feel like because I told you, like, I'll be miserable at work, then we'll go get a good workout afterwards, and I feel so much better after.
Yeah. Seth, it's funny you said that about your brother. I don't have that kind of relationship with my brother. Like me and my brothers are close, and obviously we love each other dearly. But like, if I try to have like a heart to heart with my brother, he's like, "The fuck's wrong with you, man?" It's like, "Get the fuck out of here." It's like there's no like. I don't think we have that kind of relationship. It's weird. Like me and my brothers don't have like emotional talks.
But again, it's good that you can recognize that because sometimes going to the wrong person can put you in a worse spot. You know what I mean?
That's true too. It can make you feel stupid. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just I had that question because it was ringing in my head, and I wanted to make sure that I don't know we got a chance to talk about that because what you guys say and how your relationship is. I mean, I know just from reading comments and how many people watch this podcast, it's super impactful. And with as many young men that watch it, it's like, pay the fuck attention to this. It's important.
Yeah, it matters to me, man. I think friends, what's the saying? Your friends are the family you choose. They're not that you were chosen for you. Is that the saying, something like that? I think
you choose your friends, but you don't choose your family or whatever.
No. There's another saying. It's like, somebody correct me here. I know Seth's laughing because he probably knows.
What is it? Is it what Dominic Toretto said in Fast and Furious?
Is that where it came from? Is that where it came from? I heard this saying.
What does he say in Fast and Furious? Like, your friends are family or something.
No, listen. I saw this saying, And I'm like,
I know what you're talking about.
that makes a lot of sense.
You're friends with the family you choose.
I'm sure somebody in the comment section will correct me. Anyways, okay. On that note, we'll just end it there because I think it's appropriate to. So, Paul, you want to lead us off?
Okay, good night, guys.
Okay, you know what? We'll give it this. We'll give it to Seth because of the.
That'd be my
Don't
guess.
do that. No, I'm not following up Paul's because I showed everybody's Paul's prayer from The Office, and they were fucking dying.
Which one, Seth?
The whoopty was my favorite. That was my favorite because it was so unexpected. Yeah.
The rap.
Well,
Seth, why don't you lead us off with something a little more serious?
and I'll follow up with Seth. I'll follow up Seth.
Yeah, you're just gonna
We can
say
share it tonight.
You're gonna say amen or something, and it's gonna be your share. No, you got to be all or nothing. You're either in or out.
Okay, I'll leave it to Seth. I'll step aside and let Seth take the honors.
Oh, you're killing me. All right. Everyone will bow our heads.
Yeah.
Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to get together once again and entertain the masses of our wonderful community full of meatheads and like-minded individuals. We thank you for our health, our friendships, our relationships, and the opportunity to continue to do great shit in this beautiful industry. In your name, amen.
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 Paul, why can't you do that? It's not that hard.
I try. The words don't come out like
you know
that.
what? So you know what's good? It's, just, it's because he's actually really thankful. You're not thankful.
I'm thankful for a lot of stuff.
It doesn't sound like it when you do it.
It's not as polished. It's not as smooth as Seth. Seth is an excellent public speaker. I'm not. I stutter and I don't make sense. And Seth is much more polished than I am.
No, I think we'll keep working on it. We'll get it next week.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
I'll put something.
You're my
together.
number one, Paul. I'll never forget.
Thank you, Seth. You're my number one too.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.